This is Nitro Rallycross. Let's get ready to send it! Look at this sight for sore eyes. Nitro Rallycross is back in a major way. This is round 1 of 5 of the Nitro Rallycross Championship. We're at Utah Motorsports Park. Thank you to the Utah Sports Commission for having us. Yokohama tires on the corners, and we're talking about Nitro Rallycross Supercars. Next car, we're talking about the Sierra vehicles. I'm Jared Deenda, so happy to be here, and I'm joined by an esteemed colleague of mine. It's our first event together, but guess what? I feel like I've known you my whole life. My man, Andrew Coley. How is it going, brother?
Oh, good, man. We've waited 2 years to come back to Nitro Rallycross. You know, something got in the way, which hasn't been much fun, and we're ready for some serious fun now. 5-round championship. You know, this was a one-off, and now we're getting serious about things. So
that's right.
Great to be back at Utah, which was kind of the birthplace of Nitro Rallycross. Let's do it.
Yeah, here we are. So we are knee-deep right now in qualifying. We're seeing Supercars hitting the gap, and I'm seeing, is that Liam Doran?
It is Doran,
that is the British bomb.
We're looking out the window behind you guys. Sorry about the camera, but Liam's just cleared the 100-foot gap jump.
Use the bottle opener here. We'll pop it open. Pop open a Red Bull and watch these guys send it. So, yeah, we are getting ready to go. What is Nitro Rallycross? What is Supercars? What are we looking at? What are the fans tuning in here on Peacock?
Oh, mate, that's a hell of a lot of pressure to try and describe.
No pressure.
Oh, my God.
What do you got?
Nitro Rallycross is the best motorsport in the world. It's as simple as that. It's Rallycross 2.0. It's Rallycross, which is the best motorsport ever. You guys know that already. Travis Pastrana has gone, you know what, it is the best motorsport, but I think we can pump it up a little bit more. So he's got these incredible tracks. You've seen the event here in 18 and 19. So we're going to a 5-round series now, and it's going to be epic.
All right, so 600 horsepower, all-wheel drive. Liam Doran right now. We are seeing qualifying to set up the battle brackets, and that goes into tomorrow, into game day. This is Nitro Rallycross.
This is Nitro Rallycross. Cars that fly and tracks that thrill. This is 100-foot gap jumps, killer berms, epic crossovers. This is high adrenaline, all action entertainment. The bravest drivers, the most insane cars, and heart-stopping moments. This is the Rallycross Championship across North America. This is the future of motorsports.
100,000 cars!
This is Nitro RX.
I mean, you can feel the nitro running through your veins right now. We're seeing individual vehicles on track right now, but truly, what is the format? From today earlier, we saw some practice, but that just slots them as far as qualifying. But what is going on track right now?
So you can see on your screen solo qualifying. So this is the drivers going for one flying lap, and that's going to put them into the bracket, which is coming up next. So the bracket is a bunch of battles. It's like you have in Formula Drift, Jared, but it's like we also see in soccer tournaments, head-to-head. We've got a round of 14, first of all, then we go down to quarterfinals, semi-finals, and a final. The winner of that final gets the top qualifier spot. That's about grids for tomorrow. Today is all qualifying, tomorrow is all racing.
Taking a look, you can see Timmy Hansen there leading the pack with a 57 second, which coincidentally, or ironically, is a second off of his previous practice run. He had a 56, I think is a second and a half even slower than his heat run. We're getting the overhead shot of somebody really to watch, and notably, it looked like he had some issues earlier in the heats. The Yokohama tires were defeated, but that's Andreas Bakkerud, and hopefully he can get some snacks and get some more power there, because he's always stealing some snacks. But first up, we're going to bring in another member of our team, Kate Osborne. She is with somebody definitely to watch. Katie?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Jared. Inside this cockpit is Kevin Hansen, the 2019 NRX champion here. In fact, he just told me the track is getting slower and slower because of that dust, so he is up against a big challenge, especially as guys, we know how critical it is to be on top here at this track.
You know, Andrew, we are talking about it because Timmy got the fastest, and he had the opportunity to either go first or last because he was the fastest in that practice. Well, you kind of scrutinized him.
Yeah, so I figured Timmy might go last because we've seen actually some parts of the track are getting a blue groove in, which means the rubber is actually going down on the dirt and the grip comes up. Timmy, we said he's about 1.1, I think, no, 1.2 seconds off his quickest lap. And they're saying the track is getting slower. You can see some dust kicking up behind Fraser McConnell, who's on his run now. So yeah, if the track gets slower, this could be problems for people like Pastrana and Bakkerud, who are going to be coming late because they had problems in their qualifying.
Yeah, so the Hansen boys saying the track is getting slower. Speaking of the track, let's take a closer look as we're seeing the number 35 go round.
This is the Utah Motorsports Campus in Salt Lake City, home of the first NRX event of the season. It's time to turn up the adrenaline with Nitro Rallycross. This one-of-a-kind dirt track is as technical as it is thrilling. 15 turns, including 3 killer berms. A 100-foot-plus jump is the main feature of a mind-blowing crossover, including a smaller 50-foot jump complete with tunnel. The innovative nearly 1-mile course is even better close-up from one of the 8,000 grandstand seats, or the trackside seating. This is a track that will push the drivers and cars to their absolute limits. Buckle up and hold on tight. This is Nitro RX.
This track is so dynamic. Over, under, joker, and we'll get into it as the day and even the weekend progresses, right, Andrew? I mean, taking a look at this overall, it's really great to just see how grandiose this is, how dynamic, big banks, big jump, the biggest gap we'll see. But let's take a look overall and lay back and talk a little bit about what Oliver Bennett's doing, what he should do, and walk us through the course even.
Well, yeah, let's run you around the lap. I think that's our best bet. Bennett obviously now's got to do his best lap. He's got 2 laps, so you've seen him start. He's going to head off now, and he nudges the bail. Now, in fact, if he does that on his flying lap, which is his next lap, the stewards will look at it. I just went next door and checked that because I thought, you know what? You could clip the tyres out of the way, Jared, and you could get yourself a bit of a bonus. There is that iconic gap, and underneath it, the tabletop, and underneath that, the Joker. You know, this is
3 levels of fun.
Yeah, triple-decker business. So it's
not a double-decker bus that you're used to.
You know, we're talking triple. That's Harry Potter, isn't it? Triple-deckers, I think, you know. Bennett jumps a bit long. See, she's gone way too deep. He gets into the dirt, and this is about trying to nail a good lap. And I'll be honest, I didn't think Timmy's lap was going to be good enough because he was a bit long on the brakes. You guys haven't seen that. We've been watching it here in Utah. And so this next lap for Bennett's got to be perfect.
So you can see that blue groove. That's what we're talking about there. That's where the rubber meets, not the road, but just really hard packed dirt. It's really creating that grip. So this is what you call, Andrew, that flying lap. Now is when the clock really turns. And you talked about this earlier. Cabot Bigham, he took the Joker lap. That's not what you want to see. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Timmy Hansen, as you said, about a second slower than his previous practice lap. But if everybody's at that pace, that means that everybody's going slow as well. And this is that big gap.
So Bennett goes over the big gap. Take a look at your ladder on the left-hand side, though. What's interesting is the person who ran just before Bennett was Fraser McConnell, the Jamaican driver, who's gone P3, Jared. So although mostly people have gone somewhat slower than the other drivers, Fraser actually managed to get it up into P3. So it's definitely not a dead track in terms of getting a lap time in, but you're going to have to nail it.
Yeah, look at that. So as Bennett comes around, really dropping the RPMs.
Yeah, too high on the gears, needed to go down another cog. He's trying to keep everything smooth and tidy, but you could hear the car bog. Very rare in a 600 horsepower car, so definitely a gear too high.
Yeah, and that curtain there, you could see him when he gets in that loose, soot. It's called that's accumulating. We're not going to do any. There's no maids here. There's no mitt on the pillow in regards to sweeping that outside corner. What do you got?
He went slowly. Bennett went slowly over the line there, so a little bit of a problem for Bennett. He slots in P8. That's because Bigham and Erickson have actually both been DQ'd for going the wrong way. So there we go.
Yeah. So there you go. Different techniques, different strokes for different folks. Speaking of strokes, we're just lay out here for a second. Here's a few messages from our sponsors. Again, this is round 1 of Nitro Rallycross. Just warming things up. Here's Oliver Bennett. We're going to continue with qualifying when we return here to Utah Motorsports Campus.
The pace of Hansen. So the Hansen squad felt that the track was going to get slower, and at the minute I think we're seeing it's going to be pretty tough to get towards the top of that leaderboard.
All right, so Timmy Hansen, speaking of Hansens, here goes the other Hansen bro. Again, he is denoted by the yellow wings out back, but again, this is shaping things up for battle brackets. We're going to see 2 cars on the track at the same time. If you can't break down that format once again.
Yeah, sure. So these guys are going to get seeded here from 1 through to 14, and then we have a battle bracket with those numbers on it. And think of it like, let's go with another analogy, a tennis tournament.
Okay.
You never see the top 2 players play against each other until they reach the final. So P1 will go left side of the court, P2 right side, all the way down the grid. So you should see some pretty easy battles at first, where we'll have maybe an obvious favourite, and then as it gets into the heart of it, a bit too sideways from Kevin, we'll see some tighter stuff in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the final. And the final gives us top qualifier for tomorrow. So they'll get pole on the inside of the first of the heat races, and that's going to give them the best chance of going straight through to the final.
I got to tell you that I think the Hansen strategy here, Timmy went early on, and here we are, only 3 drivers left, and Kevin Hansen throws down. They're going to get some good communique. They're going to get some R&D, rip around and destroy their vehicle, finding out exactly the fastest line, from ideal conditions or better than ideal conditions to over here.
Yeah, they'll be gathering data from this. They know that Kevin is somewhat compromised, basically.
Yes.
Kevin broke his suspension in this next berm. So watch this next berm. Watch for the holes. Look at the attitude of the Peugeot. He goes high. The holes are actually low. Look at that roost behind the car. Sends up a huge dust cloud over the top of berm number 1. He's using a really high line there, Jared. So he's using the banking to carry the speed through. Cases the jump a little bit nicer, slightly longer, and he's a little bit deep again.
But that might be the best strategy. He's throwing it sideways, and it's just not gripping up. So that's just showing you that, imagine wheel versus wheel. We get, a multitude of cars out here. That's going to get really interesting. Again, we're all building up for tomorrow's main event.
Let's see where Kevin slots in, coming down now to cross the line. How far up this board can he get? And he stays
right
P9,
there.
yeah. So that was actually his first lap, was the P9. So the second lap was no quicker.
No. So, Kevin Hansen, as he finishes his lap, let's throw it down to Katie, who is down in the Subaru pits.
199, those gearbox issues, they had a tire puncture, but hey, the team says it's running pretty well. Travis Pastrana right there, finishing that heat in 8th. You finally got a couple laps in there. What's your thoughts on the track at this point?
No, that was great. Now, we tried the inside line. We're the only one that did that. I don't know if it was necessarily the way to go, but I figured without really getting much practice, we're going to not do as good as they were at what they knew. So I tried something different. These guys are definitely awesome. So we'll see what we can do. Hopefully turn it up a little bit for whatever the heat races.
Yeah, and you talk about the battle brackets. What's going to be the key to that?
Winning. Winning's good. Definitely winning.
Simple as that, guys. As we watch here, you can see your car driving around the track there. What's going on in a driver's mind at this point when they know they're just trying to get a good lap under their belt?
That was good. You can see I understeered a little bit more, so we'll make some adjustments. I'll try to basically not overdrive so many of the corners. I think we lost probably a good half second there in that last turn. So definitely we know the car can do it. Scott Speed right there, right off a pole. So it's going to be an awesome jump.
All right, there you go. That is Travis Pastrana looking to win here today. But of course, it's about being first right here after these battle brackets, right, guys?
Oh, it is indeed. Yeah, Pastrana saying he went on the inside line. What he means there is the split at the end of the straight. He actually took the tabletop rather than the gap jump. So it's a pretty impressive lap time. And I think it does show, Jared, that both the tabletop and the gap, the lap time is close enough to use it as an option. And I think now that's Robin Larsson. Has he got a problem already?
He aired that thing out. Did you see how far he went down that jump? And truth be told, or how else do you say it?
To be fair, I think Larsson might well have shown up on air traffic control back at Salt Lake City Airport there with that one. That was permission to buzz the tower, wasn't it? Basically, the car seems okay. Look how tight he is on the inside. You could argue he's not out on the blue groove there, but he's got a great exit. So Larsson now down the straight, green flag lap. Watch now, this guy can be super sideways. He's got great car control, but the sideways can cost you time.
And also, he is really airing it out. Talking to his teammate Liam Doran, he says he's a bit nervous going for that jump. I mean, he had sweaty palms, arms is ready, mom spaghetti. I mean, felt like Eminem there on 8 Mile. But all joking aside, here we go. Now, again, the clock is ticking. Can he? Kept a little cleaner there. You saw that back end touchdown. You don't want to be too aggressive.
That's the problem.
And there's Robin Larsson. You saw him overcook it, burnt the meatloaf. Look at left tire is debeating.
Jared, for me, he was way too sideways into there. The jump was great. The first part of the lap was great. Then he's just got super deep, gone on the bar. So that's the handbrake. And tried to get the car sideways. But he was carrying far too much momentum. He's done a full 360 and tapped the barrier on the outside. So That's not the best of Larsson. He's a hell of a driver, and that's not great.
I think the problem here is that, they make it look easy. We've seen all these vehicles go over the jump, but okay, you made the jump. Oh yeah, and then you got to throw it in there and bank it and hit that and not hit anything.
We also know that the berm's got a couple of holes on the inside.
Yeah.
So Larsson may have been going for a high line, on the bar and getting the car around. Take a look at this again. So have a look at the jump. As Jared said, the previous lap, he jumped way too long. This is really nice. So watch for the knuckle, which is where the down ramp starts. He clears that, lands the car beautifully. Now he's late, but he's looking for the holes.
He's locking them up.
Yeah, and then look how deep he is already.
That was the first
lap one. That was
lap one. So he aired it out. Speaking of Moon, then we go to Mars because it is definitely pitted. So watch this, getting so pitted.
Nice.
Touches down. That was decent, that back end. But watch this. Look at the suspension compressed. Now he comes in too hot. Late entry, and then just overcooks it.
It's hot and high, you know. So look, it's tough for us. We got to make a decision on what we see here. Larsson might say straight away, you know what, the brake pedal went long. I had an issue. Let's have another look. This is going to be a better angle for seeing what happens. So he comes in hot. Look, he's on the brakes now. He pulled the handbrake. You saw the back wheel lock up. He hadn't got enough speed, retarded out of the car before he got on the handbrake, and so the rotation is too quick, the momentum is too much, and he ends up right up at the top of the berm.
And you're right, it might have been potentially a brake failure or something like that. I mean, we're not in the cockpit, and maybe that's why he pulled the handbrake. Like, this thing ain't slowing down. Yanked on the handbrake, which actually causes the car to understeer, and you're going to just plow and go straight in. So, all right, let's talk about some more Subarus. This is Andreas Bakkerud going for the blue, and it's crazy seeing him behind the wheel with Subaru.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is the last car, Jared. So Bakkerud had a problem, which meant that he ended up last on the list. Timmy Hansen decided to go first. As the winner, he can go first or last. And Timmy decided to go first. He felt the track was getting slower. So Bakkerud, in theory, now faces the worst of the conditions, the most dust out there. Is that going to slow him down? Bit of understeer through the first berm, but this is warm-up lap, so we're good,
Yeah, and Travis was talking about taking that tighter line. I believe it was after that jump, taking the narrower line. Let's see how he manages this, swinging that vehicle. Whoa, getting way. I mean, he is absolutely powdering those donuts.
But this is the lap to do this. He needs to figure the braking zones. Remember, he hasn't been out on track since he had a puncture in Q2. Bakkerud, bottom of the list. Can he beat his arch rival, Timmy Hansen, top of the list? At the minute, Timmy Hansen's going to get the top qualifier. Could it possibly be Bakkerud that would deny him? Here we go.
All right, now the clock is ticking. You can see the clock up top there as it winds up. Andreas Bakkerud, Snackerud coming now through that first turn and gets it set up for the big gap here. Oh, no, sorry.
He's going big gap. He's going big gap. So Bakkerud, he runs a little bit wide in the right-hander. He's had to wait on the throttle there before the left. Having said, I was going to say it's going to cost him speed, but they use the limiter there anyway. That first lap was good enough for P10, but Bakkerud's going to want to go a bit quicker. Key will be not going deep after that jump, Jared. Let's check it out.
Much nicer line there from Bakkerud. You saw him kind of go middle to high, and now very clean. Look at how he's landing those jumps. Good transitions, not scrubbing a lot of speed, and that was a good execution. That we might see a challenge of Timmy Hansen in number one spot.
So there's the big difference. Bakkerud to Bennett earlier. Bennett had the car in too high gear and it bogged. Bakkerud had the car in a slightly higher gear and it killed the wheel spin. I don't think it's going to be enough for TQ, but let's find out. Andreas Bakkerud now runs down towards the line. Let's see where he ends up on the title screen. Not enough, P7. Decent, though, considering how late he ran. So he's rescued it a little bit there, and that's going to set us up for the brackets. It's Timmy Hansen who gets the P1 at the end of solo qualifying.
Yeah, and speaking of our P1, Timmy Hansen with that 57.391. Katie's with him now.
Yeah, you can see Timmy's actually checking his phone, guys. You guys are saying, was Andreas giving Timmy a run for his money there? Thankfully, he did not. Right now, sitting P1 going into the battle brackets. How important is that?
Yeah, well, of course, it's very important getting a good start to the weekend. So the lap was good. I was a bit wide after the step up, but the track actually was very slippery and went even slippier. I think this dust makes the track hard. So what we're discussing now, we try and predict what's going to happen and make the right setup for the next round, which is not easy.
Well, and Timmy, one of the things that you and I were talking about at the beginning of the day was the importance of these spotters and actually how there's limited visibility for them, which relies a lot on you. How challenging is that as a driver?
Yeah, like the spotters from where they stand, they cannot see the second half of the, behind the first berm. They cannot really see it. So there I'm on my own. And my relation to that is my spotter. And he's always in my ear, but he can't be there. So, well, I'll do my best, on my own.
Between you and Kevin, of course, we know that the brotherly relationship is strong. You guys were just having a powwow. What exactly do you guys talk about? Is it anything other than racing too?
No, now it's 100% racing, and we're in a big rush because we don't have much time, and we might need to change the setups depending on if they put that water or not. So, I want to dive back in here.
Could be a thrash and dash here in the Hansen camp, guys.
Thank you, Katie Osborne. As we're talking to Timmy, you can see the Hansen boys rapping out what's going through their mind, their setup, what's the fastest line. Well, guess what? Timmy was the fastest in the inaugural, the first ever Nitro Rallycross here. Let's take a look back at 2018 and Timmy's fight for the win.
My name is Timmy Hansen. I drive the Peugeot 208 WRX here at Nitro Rallycross. I like, coming here and being kind of a favorite because I won last time. I like that pressure. I think it makes me perform better. It blew my mind that a track could be this insane. It is unreal to drive it. You're going out there and kind of risking your life on these big jumps, and you have to overcome this fear that you have of what might be and just focus on what you're gonna do. Kevin is my younger brother, and we've obviously grown up together, and we spent our days racing cars, racing quads, motorsports. When we get into that position of starting 1 and 2, I think we're incredibly strong at dealing with that position. And when there are 2 Hansens on the inside for the competitors, I think we're really hard to beat.
We're here for the perfectionists, the champions of doing things right. Whether they're in the shop or in the driveway, they trust O'Reilly Auto Parts, because good enough won't cut it here. For over 60 years, we've been helping perfectionists get exactly what they want and exactly what they need without compromise, turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts, professional parts people.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
Nitro Circus is back with the action-packed You Got This tour. Top athletes in FMX, skate, BMX, scooter, and more are ready to get the party started, throwing down huge world's firsts with more crazy contraptions, more insane stunts, and more high adrenaline fun than ever before. Get ready, because we're coming to a city near you.
I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Get your tickets now at nitrocircus.com.
We're talking about track maintenance right now. Yeah, it takes a lot of hands on deck. Thank you so much to our hard-working Nitro Circus team. Yo, they're working hard out there. And again, we'll put a mint on the pillow here for Sierra cars. When you want to find a nice hotel, you go in and maybe get, when you go on a cruise ship, you get a towel of like a dove or a swan or something. I feel like maybe we should put a little Nitro Rallycross car. And this is what. So we talked about qualifying. And this is why we did those solo qualifying runs. Now, this is the battle brackets. Do we give them swords? I feel like medieval times. Where's your turkey leg, Andrew?
I kind of like the deep voice thing, Jared. This it's drama. Yeah, this is like movie trailer time. But yeah, so you can see Hansen top left. The P1 next to him, he was first in the session, you remember. Scott Speed on the right, we said they go left and right, basically, so the top seeds don't meet until later. 3 and 4, McConnell and Foust down, you can see, and then 5 and 6, Arpin and Kevin Erickson. Now, at the other end of the field, you got your P13, Ollie Erickson goes up against Foust, your P14, well, that's we've got 2 P13s on there, so one a bigger or the other. But Speed and Hansen actually get a bye, so they're going to get a bye in this session. They do have to show up. They have to head out onto the course with their car, and they actually have to do the 3 laps. We weren't sure they were going to have to. We thought they might get a choice of whether or not they wanted to, but they say, no, you're going to have to run those 3 laps.
Yeah, as we are getting prepared here for Sierra cars, again, we're doing some track maintenance. We've been talking about Timmy Hansen quite a bit because the Hansen boys have really made their mark here in Utah. 2018, 2019, took a hiatus in 2020. Things got a little weird, right? I mean, but everybody's okay. We're back, right? So as we're talking about the Hansen boys, there's somebody we haven't talked about a lot, and he has a very familiar relationship with this vehicle. He broke his back here on this course, but he's fighting. He is back, and he's ready for it. I mean, we'll see if he lives up to his name. And here's a little bit more about Scott Speed.
My name is Scott Speed, and I drive for Subaru Motorsports.
Yeah, it'll come down to the last session, basically, in track conditions. Speed.
Wow, he was flying over that thing.
For me personally, I'm excited to race against myself. You know, to me, it's always been a battle within. Obviously, the last time I was in the car, I broke my back. So, I mean, this is not mentally easy to just jump back in the car and be at 100%. So, you know, those are my own personal challenges that I overcome, and honestly, those are the challenges that I'm most excited about trying to tackle. The sport's changing. The type of tracks we're going to are changing. The driving style is going to change. All of us are going to have to adapt to this. You know, obviously Subaru's been great. They got a lot of great guys on the team, and it was really rewarding in 2019 to be able to come in and, you know, get them some wins and get them, you know, to, you know, a place where they deserve to be, you know, as one of the top teams to beat.
That's what Scott wants. Like you said, you know, just he wants to be one of the teams to beat.
He's an inch and a half shorter.
We
only found that out a couple of days ago. He said he walked past, you know, everyone at home, they got kids, you got the little lines on the side of the door frame. He said, I walked past it, and I looked up at the line that said Scott on it, and he was like, no way. Got his wife, they put a marker pen on. He's an inch and a half shorter than he was prior to this event in 2019. So, pretty wild.
All right, here is our event schedule. Sierra Car Final is up next, and then we'll be seeing our next final, literally and figuratively, NRX Next final, and then we'll see the awards for that, and then we go into Supercar battles. We saw the battle brackets. We'll break it down, get it down further. Should be really, really exciting. But overall, I'm excited about the whole season. We're talking about today's schedule, but overall, our schedule is really exciting. We're looking at the Subaru of Scott Speed, but Katie, let's dive deeper. What's going on with Scott?
Well, this is a guy who says he's addicted to motorsport, but he also loves getting better. And that's something that he has to deal with himself here after his accident in 2019 here at this track. Jared, Coley, you guys were saying earlier, hey, does he have PTSD? So I asked him. He said, heck yes, I have PTSD. He said, I think I'm driving fine out there. It's not really building in my mind when I'm driving in the car. He said, but when I put my helmet on, that jump and how to look at jumps, it's very different now than it was before 2019.
Yeah, you got to think, and he's looking at this course. You know, Scott's looking at this course overall, and admittedly, that jump, Coley, I was talking with you. You know, you were here. You got to call that action. It looked painful, and rightfully so. I remember seeing him after the event in his back brace. You said, you know, jokingly, an inch and a half shorter, but you got to think, and Katie found out, you know, going through his mind.
Yeah, it was a savage crash. Anybody who breaks their back in anything, you have to think twice about whether or not you want to carry on doing it. Right. Scott's here, you know, he's going for it. He's quick. We can see he was right up with Timmy, so he's lost none of it. The jump profile's been changed slightly. He was super unlucky as well, Jared. The track had been watered. It was slippery. Then it started to get nice and tacky, that point just before it starts to get dusty. So he's got the ultra grip. He came around the berm before it. He launched it a bit too far. He landed to flat. So, interestingly, Travis said yesterday in his big briefing, look, you guys, you're going to have to start thinking about jumps like we thought about them in motocross. Mm-hmm. Not every jump you hit flat out.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, let's bring in the fourth member of our team. This gentleman's used to going to the snow, but I think, again, he's got his eyes on the Audi. I think we got to make sure he doesn't steal any of those Audis down there. But let's bring in the fourth member of our team, Mr. Todd Richards.
And here at the Utah Motorsports Campus, we have lots of sponsor booths, and we have one of the most essential to a rallycross race. Yokohama, mounting tires, balancing tires, because if you know or if you don't know, you tend to go through a lot of rubber here in Rallycross. And these guys are here. They're going through tires. You know, these drivers are just ripping through them. So you can get over here, check them out, mounting and balancing tires. Maybe go home with a souvenir, some shredded vulcanized rubber. I don't know. I don't know if that's good for you or not, but who cares? And as a fan, you can come over here to the Yokohama booth, spin the wheel, maybe go home with a prize. I don't know. I don't know what they're giving out over there. And right over here to the right of us, we have the Subaru paddock. And you can see just how fan-friendly it is. You can line up there. You can see these guys working on the cars. It's really cool. Maybe get a glimpse of your favorite Subaru driver. I just saw Travis Pastrana's over there. He's eating some lunch. Very, very hands-on here at Nitro Rallycross.
Man, Todd, is he drunk already? I think Todd might be drunk already.
You know when you go on one of those tours, you go to a safari park, and they're like, do you want to go on the bus around the safari park, kids? We can get a tour. And Todd, he was in that kind of mode.
He's not driving.
Nah.
I mean, yes, he's driving a car, but, Todd, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I think
I mean, you look great. He's a great member of our team, and that's kind of the progression here. Again, you've called Rallycross action for 7-8 years, and now, you know what, just the development. We're bringing Nitro. That's the sauce, baby. You know what I mean? So as we're seeing our vehicles here, McInnes, he was dominant earlier in qualifying, and here we have our Sierra car finals. We need to re-educate what are Sierra cars, because there's two different models.
So in Europe, we'd call these things cross cars, really,
Okay.
or buggies. They're called Sierra cars here, and that's the way that the guys like to brand them at Sierra cars. We've got the designer and their lead manufacturer who's actually racing in this car here, the teal-coloured car. Yeah, that's O.P. Anderson. He's out in that. We've got two different specs. RX3 is a 200 horsepower Hayabusa engine, and then the 700 RX, which three of the cars are, is a 50 horsepower 700cc. Yeah,
That's a third. A quarter of the power of the main ones.
Basically, I know which one I want to be in.
Yeah, McInnes's. John McInnes.
Yeah.
And let me correct you there. We only have two of the 700 RXs because one of the drivers is Leah Block. You might know that last name, Ken Block of Gymkhana fame and car fame, and just all around just fun haver. But McInnes will be starting the grid. But let's wrap through some of these names. Preston Godfrey. Godfrey, if you don't know that name, kind of synonymous with developing his father actually developing Nitro Circus. John McInnes from Newcastle, Australia. Andrew Carlson from Elk River, Minnesota. Ethan Rapp. We got Gage Hughes, who comes from the UTV. He comes from Ozark, Missouri. And then we have Ronald Baldens. And then finally, O.P. Anderson, which you had some words with them earlier today, because you've crashed a couple of these things, Andrew. I'm going to put you on the spot, buddy.
Not crashed. I broke.
Yeah, you crashed.
I broke a car.
Well, you broke my heart, because I thought you were a real pilot, man, and then you crashed a car.
No, I did. I brought the car back into the paddock. I was all pleased with myself, and then they went, "Oh, no one's ever done that before." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I said to OP, "I'm a bad man," but he's here basically driving the cars. He said it's great for him to be out driving them rather than engineering them.
That's right.
Cole, of course, is away racing at Long Beach. I think this weekend, the guy who runs Sierra Cars, Cole Powelson. So. What's he doing? Time Attack?
Time Attack. He's doing Time Attack in Long Beach. He's always wanted to drift Long Beach. We had a Formula Drift around last weekend, but this weekend is the Long Beach Grand Prix. So he's like, wait, I can go rip around? Yep. So he's out there in his GTR. No big deal.
Sick.
Yeah, so the Sierra cars are lining up. As we said, you got the 700, and then you have the RX3. Ethan Rapp, Opie Anderson, Andrew Carlson, John McInnes. This is a 4-car Sierra car final. Love these vehicles. I think they're a lot of fun. They will not be hitting the gap. That needs to be noted. Either the under, you got the Joker lap, or the tabletop. But they will hit the entirety of the course, just not the big old gap.
Yeah, McInnes on the pole, Andrew Carlson alongside. It's a long run down to turn 1. 6 laps for a final. One Joker lap, remember. One Joker lap, which is the tunnel underneath. There's a split down at turn 1. One of those splits leads only to the tabletop. The other one leads to the big gap jump, which they can't take. So if they go around the outside, they're going Joker straight away. If McInnes gets a good start, he won't do that. McInnes will go on the standard line. So it's going to be about what the guys at the back of the grid do. Certainly, if you're on that back row and no one's gone into the Joker in front of you, I'd risk it and head in there straight away. So watch for Anderson and Rapp if either of those two heads on in there on this lap.
Yeah, Rapp is both of them. Rapp and Opie Anderson have the 700R. Let's see what kind of start we get. Who's going for the Joker lap? Who's going for the standard run? Again, hit that Joker lap once, and we are ready to race. And we're about to send it here for our first ever Sierra Car Final Nitro Rallycross Utah Utah Motorsports Campus. They get a Utah Sports Commission, and they are off. Opie Anderson, commendable by giving those guys the faster cars. And we talked about how dominant McGinnis is, and John McGinnis gets a clean air and does not vie for that Joker lap.
No, McKinney's got a decent start there. In the background, you saw at least, I think, 3 of the drivers kick the clutch. So people had their RPM wrong there. And unfortunately, Carlson's run wide in turn 2. And McKinney's literally half a lap into his first lap has a huge lead. Bit of a squirrely landing there from the tabletop, but he's got a massive lead already, Jared.
Yeah, McGinnis here on lap 1. And again, we did do some landscaping here, meaning we moved some dirt, did some sweeping. So the course is ideal compared to what we saw previously. 6 laps, 1 lap in already. Oh, and who do we got already?
Carlson's pulled off to the side, so he's actually on the run up to the tabletop. So whatever went wrong in turn 2 for him, it looks like it's probably going to be terminal, unfortunately.
And truth be told, the Sierra cars, they have 50 horsepower, 200 horsepower, and then they have the Ultra, which is 350 horsepower, and those are the vehicles that you might have seen these vehicles do the Pikes Peak Hill climb and also the Mount Washington climb as well.
I believe Bakkerud did the Pikes Peak Hill climb in one of them. I know Cole's done a bunch of hill climbs. Cole did as well the Mount Washington one recently, didn't he? Which Pastrana won in the Air Slayer from Subaru. The onboard from that is absolutely unreal. So
I peed a little just watching.
Yeah, go and check that out. So it's the little crest dip, crest dip in 6th gear, the car being unsettled with a big drop off the side of the road. It's a hell of a piece of road. So yeah, they're really versatile. These things are sold as well for people. You guys are so lucky over here in the States. You have these huge playgrounds where you go, oh, do you know what? You can take any vehicle you want you there and just send it as much as you like. But we don't have that in the UK at all.
Look at this black groove. It's forming, man. Yeah. Look at this. We are seeing a considerable amount of rubber being laid down throughout the course, and that's just going to equate to just faster times. And again, you can see here, look at, okay, remember earlier, if you're just tuning in, earlier we saw those cars go and overcook it over that step up, right? Well, they got into a lot of silt, a lot of soot when they went beyond that black groove, right? Or the blue groove, excuse me, but not as much now.
Well, what we also saw as well, so this was before you guys joined us on Peacock and YouTube, wherever you're watching around the world. McInnes had a bit of a sideways moment there, but you saw he waited on the throttle. And earlier on, we saw one of the drivers get super sideways after the landing, and then they got on the gas. So, the car's already lost traction and he's too sideways. These are only rear-wheel drive, so you jump on the gas if you're already too sideways and you're out in that loose stuff, and round you go.
Yeah, Opie Anderson, you can see denoted by the X next to his name on that leaderboard. McInnes obviously out front, 16 seconds behind Opie Anderson. That X denotes that he has hit the Joker lap. So McInnes might use a strategy of going through and hitting that Joker lap on his final lap because getting all this clean air. Look at him, he's getting a little cocky now.
The thing is, he can just have a play, can't he? Right. And as we said earlier, look at the physicality in these cars. Have a look in through the front where the windshield would be, and just watch him wrestling the car. Yeah, he's having fun out there now. He's gone on the deep, long line, sent it in.
And what you talk about, seeing the cockpit, seeing the handwork there, I call that running into a beehive. It looks like when they get a lot of motion, looks like bees. There's bees inside the cockpit. But McInnes is keeping it clean.
Trying to catch a wasp. Yeah, we have that in the UK as well. If somebody makes a big save and you see the onboard, you're like, whoa, looks like he's trying to catch a wasp in there. So, yeah, look at this. Yeah, clear road out in front. See the front of the car dive. This is one of the things I love. If ever you're trying to explain to someone how a car works, in terms of things like the suspension, look at the car and you can actually see everything. You look at your road car and that's all hidden away underneath. On these, you can see the dampers and the springs. You can see the steering moving where the drive shafts are. They're just a great little way to see just what's going on underneath the cars.
Yeah, it is a full-size, adult-size, RC car is what it looks like. Back in the day, this is like something you did with your old Nintendo, 64 even, but at 8-bit. But this is definitely, obviously, some great technology. Cole and his Sierra team. And again, hats off to Opie Anderson. He didn't take the high horsepower vehicle. He's very familiar with the vehicle, but he says, you know what, you guys have some fun. I'm just going to drive this old 700R here as opposed to RX3. That was nice.
There's a short course track down at the end of Utah Motorsports Campus here, and I was lucky enough to get a run in one of these cars down there, and it's just great, Jared. You've got a sequential box on the right. If you've ever driven anything with a sequential box, it's basically a big lever. You pull it towards you to go up a gear, you push it away to go down again. Anything with a sequential box in it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I'm electric. Up to the gears. Great fun.
Oh, so much fun. The Yokohama Tires finals here as we continue on. Yokohama Tire and hitting that Yokohama Joker lap. We're seeing Anderson and Rapp both hitting the Yokohama Tire Joker lap. As McInnes.
Somebody rolled back to the paddock there. Yep. I'm not sure who it was.
I believe Carlson.
Yeah, 4 laps down. Obviously managed to get it restarted. There's a look at the Joker. So these are the same Joker. Yeah, he's tidy. Nice small impulse there on the exit, just catching the slides early. You see the difference between when he's looking for a tidy lap. Like again there, not too sideways, weight on the throttle. And there are other times where he's coming over the jump, backing it in, he's going, yeah, I'm having a great time. Here we go, up over the step up. Love this jump.
Yep, that is, we've seen Opie Anderson over the tabletop, really focusing in on McGinnis. You can see the time slip there, 21 seconds between them. No real competition here going against McGinnis. He's just having a day, man. Friday.
But Opie said that the car would be about 10 seconds difference in terms of lap time. So actually he's doing pretty well. I would say it's slippery out. If you listen to the throttle, if you listen to McGinnis when he's on the slip and stuff, not down the straight here, he'll absolutely rev it out. But when he's in any of the tight corners, you listen, he's really having to wait on the throttle. And that is the big difference between rear-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and everything else we've got here. NRX Next and Supercar, they're all-wheel drive. You light it up, the four wheels are fighting for traction, bang, you go.
Unless they're playing shuffleboard, which you got that salt on that surface, and that gets a little slick. Not getting the traction that they want. The Yokohama tire is very capable on the asphalt, but when all the equation, it equates to slip and not grip. As McGinnis finally does hit that Yokohama tire Joker lap. He's got a few more turns for glory here. Big berm, airing out. Like I said, it looks like an RC car, man. This thing, too much dang fun. As, again, Opie Anderson back there quite a bit. And McGinnis will win the first ever Nitro Rallycross Sierra Car Finals. Andrew, oh no,
Jared's giving him the commentator's curse.
Oh, look at this.
Look at the last minute, Jared.
Or is he waiting for him?
No, he's not. He's trying to restart the car. In the background, Opie Anderson's coming around, the car designer and their lead fabricator might be about to take the win.
No, there he goes. There he goes.
Away. No, I wanted the great story for Opie. Oh man, I wonder if you could see him sitting there and thinking, I could get him. It was so close. It was so close, but McGinnis is going to get it. Great job. He deserves it. It would have sucked for him if he lost it at the end there with a stalled car. Great job.
That's the internet video of the woman thinks she's about to win, and then the kid just passes her, and she tries. Oh, that's a terrible video. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, McGinnis. Wow, that was things got interesting. I'm gonna claim that McGinnis was trying to be nice, and they were going to hold hands crossing the finish line.
You know what? We like that kind of thing in TV. Maybe McGinnis just thinking, those boys up in the announcing booth, I'm gonna give them a bit of a heart attack. We'll just see if we can liven this up right at the end there. The gap would have been huge, wouldn't it? In the end, he only won by 9.3 seconds, which is still pretty huge. It was you could have used a candle to measure it before.
All right, so McGinnis, you see him headed back to the paddock. He will get first place here, and this is where the heart started beating here, not only for us, but of course for McGinnis. What went wrong is the question.
Lands it here, comes down into the corner, flicks it in nicely. He's waiting to get on the throttle, and he stalled it. So was he a gear too high? Now, he'd like to be a gear higher to try and kill some of the wheel spin on the exit, but if he's just that little bit too high, he bogged it down. Now you got a hot Hayabusa motorcycle engine trying to restart it. They don't like it, and he's, look at Opie. Opie's airing it out, almost wall riding. There's nearly a 50-50 grind coming down off the back of that jump there, trying to catch up, and he nearly got it. But Opie will be stoked. He was pleased with third place earlier on in his heat race, so he's got a P2 here in the final.
And what's even more interesting, you got to think what's going through not only McGinnis's head, but Opie Anderson. I don't know if you saw that. The yellow flag is waving before he goes and hits that tabletop. And you got to send it, otherwise you're gonna serve some detriment to your vehicle and yourself, because if you nose into that other side of that tabletop, that's going to cause some damage to you and of course the vehicle. But look at that, getting towed off. The number 15, unfortunately, Andrew Carlson. It was over before it began, from Elk River, Minnesota, and we are getting ready for our NRX Next final. But Katie is with a Jamaican driver. What's up, Katie?
A Jamaican driver who actually discovered Rallycross on YouTube, which is so phenomenal. You've climbed your way. You've actually won Jamaican Driver of the Year twice now. How are some of those skill sets that you've had in all different disciplines paying off today?
Rallycross for me was a dream come true. I started off with go-karting, transitioned into rally. I also did some circuit racing with, proper circuit racing cars. And I was always a big fan of, X Games and watching World Rallycross Championships. And I knew that once I could take my rally background and my circuit background and mush them together, I'd be able to do great things. And, this is my third year in Rallycross, and I'm racing on the biggest stage in the world, competing with the best drivers in the world. So I'm having a lot of fun representing all my brands and sponsors, and most importantly, my country. So having a lot of fun.
And as you represent your country, you have fans who are here. There are flying Jamaican flags down here. And I was going to say, Jared Deanda over there wants to go on vacation with sandals and also wants to enjoy it in Jamaica. What do you have to say to Jared, who's up in the booth?
Sandals is the spot to go, hit me up. I'll talk to the big boss, see if he can get you in a nice little villa. But you know, it's the most beautiful country in the world, nicest people, super friendly, and you know, I'm more than honored to be representing them on this stage.
He's representing a whole group of people here. Congratulations on the runs out there. We'll keep enjoying watching you out there.
Right on. Thank you so much. Question I have is, who's Uncle Sal? Uncle Sal.
It's his uncle. Yeah, so I asked him this. Uncle Sal is here this weekend. So we saw Peter and Stephanie earlier for his parents. I was like, dude, who's Uncle Sal? He's like, it's my uncle, Uncle Sal. And I'm like, Uncle Sal. They rip it out of me. I can't say it. I'm not Jamaican.
Yeah,
enough,
no.
But
You're making me crazy with that accent.
There will be a big crowd of people watching in Jamaica right now. They are always tuning in, and they're probably pretty grateful that we're a bit closer to their time zone than when we are over in Europe. I think they have to get up early, whereas now they'll probably be staying up late, and that's got to be preferable.
All right, Sage Karam, George McGinnis, we got Lane Bacala, Simon Olofsson, Eric Gordon, Martin Inland, and Kasper Janssen. You could see a variety of two countries being represented here, Andrew. And who are we looking at here as far as starting grid overall? Who's to watch? What are your thoughts?
I think you've got to keep your eye obviously on the front row. So big advantage to be starting up there. So Kasper Janssen and Simon Olofsson. Enland is quick on row 2. Vakala, to be perfectly honest, he's probably not as quick as a couple of the guys behind, but has done a great job in qualifying to get P4, and good for him. He can now make that car as wide as he can, see if he can hold on. But behind him, you've got a couple of class drivers, and particularly need to keep your eye on George McGinnis and Sage Karam. Although I can't see Karam pulling up to the grid. I wonder if maybe they've had an issue with that car. I can't see him in the pre-grid. He's not up at the start of the straight. So Sage Karam looks like he's a non-starter in this, the first NRX Next final.
So, we'll see. We'll see if the Wix Filters vehicle pulls up. But Sage, where are you at? Question mark.
My history in rally is it's not much. I've only done a little bit of racing. I think I've done 5 races. It's going to be a challenge. I'm usually an asphalt guy, so the dirt stuff is a big learning experience. The races are only a couple minutes long. It's a lot of action in a short amount of time. To me, Nitro Rallycross is an adrenaline rush. You know, it would feel good to come out of here with a couple wins and fight for a title, and hopefully we can do that. My name is Sage Karam. I'm from Nashville, Pennsylvania, and I drive for a Dry Reinbold race.
Well, the Dry Reinbold vehicle there, Sage is nowhere to be found. You know, he is MIA, but he is looking for, competition. Hopefully we'll see him at future rounds, but unfortunately the Dry Reinbold vehicle is not there. So here we go. What do we got?
We should see him tomorrow. Double headers for these guys.
Get hyped.
They get to go. Here we go. Front row, Kasper Janssen on that inside line. Gets away Simon Olofsson alongside. They need to watch out for Enland though. Enland up the inside of Olofsson. Olofsson going to go Joker. Vakala goes in. McGinnis sweeps him wide. McGinnis closing down the gap there onto the back of Enland. But in the lead it's Kasper Janssen going over the tabletop. And we've got Vakala headed out wide to the Joker.
All right, so again, these vehicles will not be hitting the big gap. That is only for supercars. But I'll tell you what, that tabletop is going to rear its ugly head, because you can see the attitude of the vehicles. Once they go over that tabletop, they kind of dip that front right. It could get precarious, not only on the tabletop, but also the step up. And we're not talking about setting the table. We're literally jumping that table. Olofsson and Vakala, you can see they have the X next to their name. That means they have hit that Joker lap. Nice and clean there. Oh, look at this. Ooh, Enland could have gained some ground. Remember, in there earlier today, Janssen and Enland, they really got into it.
So Olofsson and Vakala have gone Joker. Olofsson's quick, but Olofsson is already on the back of Eric Gordon, who's making his debut here in this car. It's a brand new car. It was on the boat over here, and he bought it. He called Andreas Erickson, like, I need a car. Bought a brand new car. He's sitting in P4, but Olofsson will be really hoping, having Jokered on that first lap. He's about 6 seconds down. That gives us a little bit of an indicator, Jared, as to what the Joker delta might be, but he's stuck behind him, so he's got to make a move. I'm trying to see where he is. No, he's a long way back now. Olofsson looks like he might have a problem.
All right, so Janssen, all eyes are on Janssen and Enland right now. Let's see where they land. They got wheel to wheel. They got door to door there for a moment, but Janssen.
Oh, McGinnis! 2 wheels for McGinnis from the commentary position up on the tabletop. McGinnis, if he's still in one piece, has just held on. So from the commentary position, he clipped a tyre stack, put it up on 2 wheels. I don't know whether we'll see it. We might have an angle on it. We'll have a look afterwards. He nearly binned that right in front of us. Sideways, Janssen gets 2 sideways, and then Enland goes too deep on the brakes. Jared, I think it's getting really dry and slippery out there.
Oh, man, look at this. So we're seeing things getting really shaken up here, more ways than one. Yeah, McGinnis was off camera. Cole, he's talking about something you can't see at home, but hopefully you got that replay. We are currently in lap. We're about to finish lap 2 and be on lap 3 of 6 overall. Janssen still out front. Let's see what kind of time we are seeing difference. It looks like 3 seconds, just over 3 seconds.
They both made mistakes on this last lap. Enlen's probably cost a little bit more, Jared. Enlen goes Joker this time round, so Enlen's going to head on out. This may be to cover her off behind if he thinks Michaela's close enough. Michaela's 10 back, and I reckon that the Joker isn't more than about 5 odd, but we'll see. We're still figuring it out. This is one of our first races, remember. Most have been qualifying so far.
All right, so Olofsson crosses that finish line 19 seconds behind McGuinness. Where are we looking right now? That is Enlen. Our eyes are on the number 60. And now Janssen, he's got that 3-second lead. Look at these guys really overcooking it. I mean, they are just smoking it.
We said earlier, this is really hard for them because a lot of the guys yesterday were casing the jump, Jared, and that means coming off the first crest and not clearing the double. So you'd call that a double. You want to land on the down ramp of the second jump. You don't hit it hard enough, you case the jump. So they're trying to clear it, but then they're getting too deep, and where it's dusty, they're running too wide.
That's just momentum pushing them over there. I mean, ideally,
McGuinness
that McGuinness.
So he was so close to rolling.
Yeah.
Then he nearly hit the side of the down ramp of the gap jump, didn't he?
Yeah.
And disappeared from sight for us here in commentary. So it was the closest to a roll. And apologies, it was through our window and not on your screens. My bad. But very rare you catch something like that out the corner of your eye. And I was like, wow, I think it's going to be a big one. But it's broken, unfortunately, so it's going to get parked.
All right, so again, let's take a look at this. As I was talking about prior to seeing McGuinness pulled off course, about that step up, it's momentum. So ideally, if they could, they'd whip it and actually set them up, preload into the turn. I think that would be the kind of best scenario. But getting into that, you're kind of flirting with disaster there, because look at that. The momentum brings them on in, and look at backing it in. He's parking it. Absolutely parking it there, Janssen. And Enlen looks a little tighter, so he's going to gain some ground there. 4.1 seconds. The gap has grown low. Look at that, 2.3.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, Janssen, he's got the target on his back, and here Olofsson currently in 5th, and everybody has hit the Joker lap. You can see the X next to the name.
So Olofsson, we saw, was joking on lap 1, was close to the back of the pack immediately, and then I said came past commentary slowly, and he did. You know, he's sitting in the car. It's
he beat it back right.
Yeah. Janssen. So Janssen started this year. He came across to RallyX Nordic, comes from a karting background. He was like this everywhere, Jared. He was super sideways. Now, I love that. I know you enjoy a bit of sideways business as well. He was full send. But what he's done during the course of the year on the European tracks, he's really tidied up his style. These are momentum cars. You don't want to be stalling it up like we saw. Look how much time he lost. There's not 600 horsepower to pull yourself straight again. Enlen's closing him down. He's 1.9 back now. We've got 1 lap to go. I think Janssen will hold on, but Janssen needs to remember the lessons he's learned this year. Keep it tidy. Let's get it right. Can we get it? No.
Here we go.
Right.
So look at Enlen. So if I'm Enlen's spotter, go dive in. Dive in after that step up and maybe get Janssen in this final lap.
Jared, I'd have my eye on that corner for the next lap. He now needs to close Janssen down, keep it tidy, and be there, because then Janssen comes into that corner, tries it again on the final lap, and Enlen's going to get him.
Look at this. Here we go. Let's see what kind of gap we are seeing between these two drivers. It was 2.9 and now 2.7. So it's slowly inching. Is there enough track left for Enlen to catch Janssen here?
I don't think there is. I think Janssen's going to be okay. Look at the difference in driving style. But Enlen's keeping it tidy, and Janssen's going for the big send. There's some middle ground here which we're not seeing. No. And unfortunately, with the likes of McGuinness and Olofsson retiring, we're not seeing the kind of full spreader driver style in this. You want to rotate the car. So now Janssen's been all tidy. It's boring to watch. I want to see sideways always. But let's see what he does here, Jared, because there's 2 mistakes in a row. Is he going to go for the hat trick?
Oh boy, no. So crawling. He was hearing us. I think he might be hearing our commentary saying, like, okay, I'll slow it down.
Oh! And then Enlen cases it, and now Vakala's there. So Lane Vakala, completely unseen by us, has been hammered down and has closed up on everybody. So I wonder if Enlen's got a problem, because Enlen's dropped another 3/10. So watch out for Vakala. Casper Janssen is going to come onto the start, finish straight, and take the first win for Nitro NRX Next. Crosses the line for the flag, but what's happening in the background? Where's Enlen and Vakala? Enlen is there.
Enlen and Vakala fight for that number 2 spot. Janssen gets the win there, and the checkered flag waves. Well done by Janssen. Was getting challenged, but Enlund just couldn't put it together and wasn't even concerned about Bakkerud.
You know what? They're going to go back to the paddock now. They're going to get the laptop out, get the cards out, the onboards. They're going to be looking and going, oh, Enlund's got a puncture.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. They're going to be looking at this, Jared. You know when you with your engineer and they go, look, dude, there's a 10th here. Just tidy it up a little. They're going to look at this and go, dude, there's like 5 seconds here. You know, like you need to fix this, you need to fix this. And they might have to dial it in. They may have to dial it in a little bit. But for me, way too excitable on the previous 2 laps and then way too cautious on the last lap.
I mean, this course is long. It's very long. So I think somewhere, like Glen Helen, because, we talked about this being round 1. Well, guess what? It's round 1 of 5. So here's how things kicked off with this 6-car final. 2 of the vehicles going for the Joker, but Janssen already fast.
Yeah, Olofsson had gone Joker in front of Bakkerud. In the background, you can see they'll split off to the right now and head down to the tunnel underneath. And Olofsson pops out of that onto the back of Eric Gordon, who's coming over the tabletop now in the white and orange. I'm thinking, okay, Olofsson's done well here. If he continues to close it down, he's got them, and he had a problem and pulled off.
Yeah, so as we are looking here, and we're seeing contact. Oh, look at that. See, again, off camera, things are happening. But no, it was definitely, it was all about George McGinnis over the tabletop.
Let's see.
That was absolutely exciting.
Yeah, would have been in the background here, and he just to the right of that drone shot. McGinnis came as close as you can come to binning an NRX Next car.
Yeah, we talked about Enlund, and he just couldn't get it together. And like you said, scrutinizing the run, it was exciting overall, but
I'm enjoying Enlund in the background there, pulling a stoppie on the way down the down ramp of the step up in the background there. Just kept on the front wheels. But look at that. He cases it. Janssen cases it, and in the background, Martin Enlund coming through in the yellow car now. He also cases the jump. So yeah, and Bakkerud flies it nicely. But you've got to get into that inside line here. Look how dusty it is. You're just going to run that little bit wide.
And there is the checkered flag, and that is where we see our first ever Nitro Rallycross Next winner, and that is Kasper Janssen from Sweden in that Endless Motorsports NRX Next vehicle. And let's take a look, make it official. Kasper Janssen, Martin Enlund, Lane Bakkerud, Eric Gordon, George McGinnis, who we saw take himself out, and Simon Olsson, both DNFs. And again, it was over before it began from Sage Karam. And NRX Next is with us all season, and we were talking about that, Andrew, but we haven't really elaborated on it much. There are 5 rounds, so if you're watching for the comfort of your own home, we have some amazing rounds of competition, and there are the points.
Yeah, so this is the standings for NRX Next, and Kasper Janssen won the last round of Rally X Nordic back in Sweden, chucked the car on the boat, he's pulled it out the container here, and he wins the first round of NRX Next. Martin Enlund, the fellow Swede, in P2. Both Enlund's motorsport cars at the top of the table. Lane Bakkerud gets 3rd. Gordon, Olofsson and McGinnis are your top 6. Equal on points, look for Olofsson and McGinnis, 30 apiece.
All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk to the winner. Katie's going to be down there with Kasper Janssen, and get up for our battle brackets. Everybody bring the big weapons. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. We're going for it. When we come back, we'll continue with the action here at Utah Motorsports Campus. Thank you so much to the Utah Sports Commission. When we come back, Nitro Rallycross continues.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 60 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Professional parts people.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road. the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
Back at the Utah Motorsports Campus, and it is time to celebrate the first ever NRX Next winner here at the campus. This is Bakkerud Jansen, and he is the guy who is taking home the big trophy today. But that's not all. You've learned a lot. You have more to come here the rest of the weekend. In fact, you are just being congratulated. What does a win like this mean for the start of a career within this series?
Yeah, it's really amazing, and yeah, I love the track, and yeah, it's amazing to win here in the Utah.
You say you love this track. What do you love about it?
The jumps or the velodromes, and yeah.
There's a whole lot of takeaways. Your teammate is standing by over here as well. How important is it to have a teammate at a track like this as you guys are both learning, growing, and developing?
Yeah, it's very important for everyone. Yeah.
And then last but not least, being here in America, family and friends back home in Sweden, what do you have to say to them as you're taking home the win?
I want to thank all in Sweden and my sponsors and the team and the dad and mechanic, yeah.
And these guys put on a great show for some of these supercars who are learning and watching and trying to understand what can they do when it's time for their turn. Guys?
All right, well, thank you so much, Katie. And again, congratulations to that of Bakkerud Jansen. And we are seeing, again, the trackside celebration here. And now we are looking at our Nitro Rallycross qualifying battle brackets. And we are seeing, again, our number 1 and number 2 qualifier, essentially a bye run. Timmy will meet either Liam Doran or Travis Pastrana. You can see him over there. Scott Speed will go against Andreas Bakkerud or Kevin Hansen. Then the other gentlemen down at the bottom, they're going to be going against each other. We'll see where they land. And like you said, tennis or drifting or whatever, you'll see the final two, the battle of the ages. But then this is just shaping things up for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? We're doing all this action today, and it's just to get us to the grids ready to go racing tomorrow. So tomorrow it's racing all day long. We've got 2 heats where the top 2 go through. Then we've got 2 quarterfinals. We've got a last chance qualifier as well. So we're going to get 10 cars through to a 6-lap final tomorrow. And an advantageous grid position is really important. You know, if you can get this top qualifier spot by winning that final battle, Jared, you're inside in Heat 1 tomorrow, and you could book a place straight into the final.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about advantage. And the advantage is, you know, are you a better driver? How's your vehicle set up? How does it compare for this course? And again, this is round 1 of 5, but the variable that's all the same are the tires. They all run the same tire, Yokohama tires. And how aggressive is this track? Laying down the blue groove. That's where the rubber meets the dirt and the blue groove. But you know what? Todd Richards found out some more about Yokohama tires.
Over here with some of the unsung heroes of Nitro Rallycross in the Yokohama booth. And I've got Dwayne, the tire guy. Now, Dwayne, we have here example A. That is not what a rim is supposed to look like after a race. Tell us why you guys are so important and what this does when that happens to a wheel.
Well, you know, there's kind of basic physics and just kind of certain things that a tire can and cannot do. This situation was contact with the K-rail in the middle of a corner. The tire still did hold air, but obviously the wheel's done and the tire that was connected to it is done. So, you know, just we're trying our best to do what we can and make these guys go as fast as they can, as safe as they can. And there's just certain, you know, it's racing. Things happen.
I have heard that you're only as good as the tires you are on. Is that true?
Yeah. Basically, as you mentioned, we are the unsung heroes. Most of the time, when you win, it's easy to you know, congratulate yourself. When you lose, sometimes you can blame, not always, but it's a regular occurrence. The tires have been known to be the cause.
So you guys are taking care of everyone's problems, addressing everyone's problems that involve with tire and going through inflation, you know, pressure and all that stuff here. You guys are the ones that deal with that?
Absolutely. We're here to help. As I mentioned, we want to make sure everyone's safe and having a good time and going as fast as they can. So we have kind of in-depth discussions on how to go faster, and as the conditions change, the track changes, the ambient temperature changes, the track temperature changes. We all make adjustments to make that work.
All right, well, cool. Thanks for joining us. By the way, 265, 35, 19s. Okay, bye, you guys.
NRX is here, a new championship across multiple rounds in North America. And it all came from the mind of this man, Travis Pastrana.
What do I love most about rally? Well, competition. I love competition, whether it's foosball or pit bikes or motocross. I love to be competitive. I want to be able to fly, I want to be able to slide. And Rallycross was the closest thing to what I loved, but I still thought the drivers can be challenged more. The cars can be challenged more. The crowd can be more entertained. And that's why we started Nitro Rallycross.
Travis Pastrana is the epitome of living on the edge.
He did have to take a brief intermission after that last run because he chipped his tooth.
And pushing limits. His determination to showcase what these cars can really do was the catalyst to the birth of NRX.
For me, I think what's going to scare most people is the jump. I mean, there's a jump over a tunnel. So there's a chance that 3 drivers will be over top each other at one time, which is pretty mind-blowing for most car racers. But I think the coolest part is going to be the outsides are pretty much huge bank corners like Talladega, and the insides are flat, so you just slide in the car. So hopefully this will allow a lot more opportunity to pass, a lot more opportunity for good racing without having to follow the same line.
In 2018, Travis and his team set to work designing the ultimate track at the Utah Motorsports Campus that included a 100-foot plus gap jump.
I believe that if you're an F1 driver, if you're a NASCAR driver, if you're an Indy driver, if you're a World Rally driver, you want to drive Rallycross, but the tracks haven't challenged the vehicles. They haven't challenged the drivers enough to get them over. And I want every track to be different. I want one track to be snow and ice, one track to be sand, one track to be dusty. Yeah, it's not ideal race conditions, but let's see who powers through. Let's have big jumps at this track and small jumps at this track. Let's have off cameras at this track and berms at this track. Let's challenge the drivers. If the drivers are excited, we found out in Nitro Circus, like if the riders are excited, the crowd's excited.
The world held its breath for the first Nitro Rallycross, with the likes of World Rallycross Championship stars, such as Matthias Ekstrom and Timmy Hansen, battling against domestic rally icons like Ken Block and Tanner Foust. Ekstrom started the main event on pole, but it was the Swede Timmy Hansen who took the first title.
We jokered early, great strategy, and every lap I was able to close the gap. The win today feels incredible. Nitro World Games Gold.
It wasn't long before Nitro Rallycross became the big attraction on the worldwide Rallycross calendar. In 2019, Hansen's younger brother Kevin, who had previously watched Timmy from the pit lanes, took to the track to win the second ever Nitro Rallycross title. Then a global pandemic struck, derailing last year's plans. And so NRX will relaunch in 2021. And a global audience will witness a highly competitive championship with 5 stops that spread right across North America, from Utah to Minnesota to Arizona, California, and Florida.
This year, Nitro Rallycross is a proper championship. I mean, we had 2 one-off events. We learned a lot from each of those. We believe that now's the time. We can get the best in the world, and we're going to have the best teams. We're going to have the best cars. We're going to have the most relatable and the highest.
Nitro RX is brought to you by Yokohama Tire. Make every drive a performance. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. And by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sport.
There it is. We're seeing the history just unfold before our eyes and making history today as the battle brackets are upon us. first ever Nitro Rallycross Supercars battle brackets. So we are seeing Timmy Hansen. He is your #1 qualifier. With us having 14 vehicles, we are going to be seeing our #1 and #2 qualifying driver have a bye run essentially into the next bracket.
Yeah, so they can take it easy. Yesterday they were discussing whether or not they might be allowed to just, drive off at the end of the straight, take the start and bail out. But they've changed the regs and said, no, you know what, you've got to do the 3 laps. But, Jared, this isn't about time, it's about taking the win. So when there's 2 cars in there, you come home first, you win. So it doesn't matter if the track conditions change for everybody else. It's not about the timing, it's about the P1 to go forward. So I think you'll find the guys who've got to buy, unless they're desperate to test something on the car, potentially, they're not going to go around slowly, but you won't see any risk taking from them.
Yeah, and the other thing here is about getting familiarity with the track. So I think, we were saying, why would you run? Just pull them off to the side. No, I think they're getting more track time, getting familiar with the course overall and how it's changing, how it's being dynamic. There is the number 199, Travis Pastrana. That's a flying squirrel on the back of his helmet. Is he the flying squirrel here this weekend, the platted one? And Liam Doran, the British bomb, number 33, there in the background as we are getting prepared to see Timmy Hansen. He'll run first. Again, he'll complete his 3 runs, but he will advance on into the next bracket.
So looking back at Timmy's times during the course of the weekend, Gerald, I was looking, he's been right up at the top of the timesheets in pretty much every session. I think he was P2 in practice 1, he was P1 in practice 2. He then won the solo qualifying as well. So he's absolutely on it. And what's interesting about Timmy's car is actually it's a little bit of a hybrid. They only had 3 cars. 2 of them are taking part in the World Championship at the minute. The 3rd car was shipped over here for Kevin. And they built Timmy a bit of a hybrid.
Yeah.
So we'll have a chat about that when we see him out on his run, because he's going to have a bye. We're going to have 3 laps to talk about him. Liam going through those final bits of prep. If ever you're at a rallycross event, if you can get in the pre-grid where these guys are now, the atmosphere is intense. It's just great. It's that bit where they're putting on the helmet, pulling on your various different straps.
Guys, it's Travis Pastrana.
So what he means by that is earlier on he took the tabletop. He obviously thought that taking the tabletop would maybe give him a quick enough lap time, but it didn't. So I think we can expect people to be taking the gap for the quick lap. Is there? I can't see people going for the tabletop. I think potentially whoever loses the start. Bear in mind, unfortunately, the first thing you're going to see is a bye. So you're seeing Timmy Hansen get a bye. He's going to do these 3 laps. Normally we'd be seeing a battle here with 2 cars. So Timmy can afford to cruise about. He might do a launch, I think, just get a feel for the grip levels. Remember, they're going to want to get the RPM right. There's a bunch of data to get ready for tomorrow. Racing is at a similar time tomorrow, so they can be gathering a bit of data on how to get that car off the line. So Timmy with the green light, and in fact he doesn't do a launch, so Timmy's not even going to do that, Jared. He's going to chill, and we're going to chill as well. So we'll take a look at Timmy doing 3 laps, and unless something incredible happens, we'll see you for battle 2.
Yeah, let's lay back and listen to the sound of the sports and listen to the exhaust note of Timmy Hansen, your #1 qualifier. 3 laps, having a go here at Utah Motorsports Campus. Done. 2 more to go for Timmy Hansen. Maybe at speed, maybe not. For our North American viewers, this vehicle isn't manufactured in the States. What vehicle are we looking at?
This is a Peugeot 208. So Peugeot is a French manufacturer, an very old French manufacturer. They were a factory team in the World Rallycross Championship for a few years. The Hansens, who were driving for that factory team along with Sebastian Loeb, have continued to use it and continued to develop it. It had a little bit of a dip in form, to be fair, Jared. They weren't keeping up with some of the other factory teams, but they've dug their heels in, they've got it done. Timmy Hansen won the 2019 World Championship in an incredible finale with Andreas Bakkerud, which has left those 2 as pretty bitter rivals at times, and their fans, they're like Hamilton and Verstappen fans, or Senna and Prost. You like one or you like the other.
They double down.
Yeah, but you know what? They're both great guys. They're both epic drivers, and yeah, of course I want to see some more battles between them. So just enjoy these guys for what they do. And this isn't normally what they do. This is cruise control on, because Timmy's just saving everything for the next run. As Travis said, this field's stacked, and look at that battle in the background, Liam versus Travis. I can't wait.
And that's what we'll be seeing next here. So kind of warming things up with a little lukewarm water, but we'll be turning up the heat in just a little bit, so we create A big dirt bath and dust bowl. So it looks like Timmy Hansen maybe airing out a little bit. Also, you know, maybe being kind and not trashing the course as well. All right, well, we're watching Timmy do his thing. She is with the golden child, Tanner Foust.
The golden child, if you can take a look here, this Rockster has definitely turned to gold, but the side of it still looks like it's banged up a little bit. First, Tanner, how's the car coming together after that qualifying?
I'm good. I hit the wall. I guess I wasn't the only one, but I hit the wall in the bull turn, and that got a puncture out of that. Ended up piecing together a lap still after it, so I think we dodged a bullet a little bit and got fourth out of that somehow. But puts us against Oliver over here, who I remember running around as like a 6-7-year-old in the woods when I was racing in Europe. He's Andreas' son, so it's super cool to be racing against him here in this kind of format.
You know, one of the things I think is interesting, you're talking about these young guns over here. Cabot Bigham is another guy. You are actually still learning. You told me earlier today you're learning this car. And so as these guys might be a little bit younger than you, you're still having to learn.
Yeah, no offense taken. Yes, I am, of course. This is the second day in the car, and it's been great. I mean, Dry Reinbold and EKS have put together a pretty awesome little machine. It goes really quick, and this is definitely not the type of track this car is used to running. It's used to running in European championships, but it's adapting well. It works well with the Yokohama tires. And this track is changing every single time you go out there, so it's really about me adapting to the track, and that's I'm learning every lap, like you said.
All right, well, best of luck out there. Stay safe. Guys?
Let's get geeky for a second. That is the chassis that Matthias Ekström won the World Rallycross Championship in 2016. It's not the same spec. They've all been updated to as close to the latest spec as they can get. Liam Doran is actually in the latest spec of car. You know, British driver, chassis number 007.
Haha. Gotta love it. So the Monster Energy RX Cartel, Liam Doran. I know his wife and kids are here in the building, but he's got a lot of fans back in the UK, including James. How we doing there? Drama James, Jimmy Drama. As we are now seeing TP, Travis Pastrana. As he said, anybody is a competitor here. So format here, 3 laps. Each driver does need to take their Joker lap. Strategy, do they take the Joker lap out of the gate, or do they save it for the final lap?
I think if you lose the start, the sensible thing to do is to go Joker immediately. That's what I'd be looking to do. But we'll see. Let's hope somebody decides to go side by side over the big gap jump, because that's what we all want to see. Really.
I can't wait.
Dude, if you're going to pick 2 people who might do it, Liam Doran and Travis Pastrana, they'd be like,
these 2 are psychos.
They'll probably race together
and
take the Joker together on the last lap, you know, just to have a 3-lap race. So, yeah, here we go. Proper battle for the first time. Doran anti-lag on his side of the grid. Digs the clutch.
Travis gets the jump.
Yeah, Travis got a great start there. Subaru have been testing starts extensively. They've been testing with Scott Speed, and it looks like they got it dialed. It's a real shame for Liam they're having to dip the clutch.
That's right. All right, so well executed there by Travis Pastrana. He normally doesn't get the jump. He says he doesn't get the best starts, and Liam goes for the Joker, and that's exactly what we talked about. If you don't get that jump, maybe go for the Joker. Nice, clean landing there by Pastrana as we go under the bridge where he drew some blood or drew some dust.
So let's get into tactics straight away in terms of Joker lap. So Travis has a choice now. If he feels he's faster than Liam, he'll stay out until the last lap and then he'll Joker. But for safety, and if he thinks Liam might close that gap down, and when you run wide like that, if I were Travis' spotter, I'd be going, you know what, Joker on the next lap, because it gives Liam less laps to try to close the gap. So Travis may well respond with the Joker straight away. Remember, the winner goes through, the loser's done for the day, and there's a championship point for every lap when you win.
And a championship, that is a great point. And even with those bye runs, we saw Timmy Hansen, 6.5 seconds between the 2 drivers. Liam really needs to get some gusto here and go for it. And we are seeing 7 seconds. So that gap is growing. What is Travis going to do?
Yeah, is Travis going to go Joker or not? Look, no, he's got Travis. Yes, he is.
There he is.
Travis goes Joker, so splits off to the right. So now watch for Liam in the background. The gap was 7.1. Doran now coming up towards the big gap jump. Pastrana goes underneath. Going to come up for the merge. Where's Doran in the alley? Coming up for the inside line, but Pastrana's got it easily. So 7.1. Let's see what the gap is
wide spin by Travis.
And Liam with a half spin in the background. So I was keen to see the gap, but with the mistakes from Liam, you can't So that doesn't give us a delta. I reckon 5 seconds looking at that, Jared. I think 5 could be about right for Supercar.
Travis, he took a weird line, kind of got hung out there to drive, but Liam, as you said, kind of did a mid-spin, saved it, salvaged the run there, but look at it's shrinking, 3.86 seconds from Travis to Liam Doran.
Travis could just keep the door shut though, you know, this is the thing now, a pass is hard work anyway. See the white flag, that's just to let you know you're on your last lap. Liam's a long, long way back, so interesting that Travis responded on lap 2. I wonder without the mistake after the step up, maybe he wouldn't have done. The other thing is, I'm not sure the spotters can see the backside of the course, so they may not have known that. And also, sometimes the driver chooses the Joker strategy for themselves, particularly if you're in a turn 1 fight.
And it looks like Travis has worked out his kinks, right? It seems like the car is running better, he's running cleaner, he's running tidier, tires are staying within his vehicle, you know, we're talking about debeating, but also let it be known, one and done. You know, if you lose, you're out. This is moving on. This is bracket style, and you can accumulate more points as you progress through the brackets.
It's 4 championship points, Jared. You know, we talked earlier about Bakkerud losing the World Championship to Hansen on countback. They were on equal points. You go and ask him, and he'll tell you all the points where he missed out on 1 point. And it's not lost on these drivers. Get every point you can. So Travis is going to go through. He's going to take a championship point. Liam Doran, I'm afraid, is going to be done for today.
What are you afraid of?
Well, how disappointed Liam's going to be.
Liam's still going to have a smile on his face, talking to him. It seems like he's having a ball, but guess what? Travis Pastrana wins this battle. First ever, making history here. Our bracket battle here at Nitro Rallycross Supercars. Congratulations to him. Yeah, unfortunately, Liam, you know, I think Travis opened the door of opportunity, but Liam unfortunately closed the door and said, go ahead, man. So, and here is the bracket as we take a look overall. So you can see Timmy Hansen with that #1 qualifying position. He advances on, and then you are seeing Travis Pastrana. Yeah, look at that. Timmy Hansen and number 199, Travis Pastrana, will go against each other, and this is how it got done. Next up, Tanner Foust, Ollie Erickson. Love how he talks about it. Maybe that's throwing a little bit of shade where he says, I remember him 6 years old running around the forest, and now he's going toe-to-toe. But look at this, Travis Pastrana and Liam, this is how it got done.
Liam, it was the start, I'm afraid, Jared. So the thing is here, it's pretty hard in terms of trying to figure out what RPM you want. So, you know, the tires are sticky, the track's hot, particularly that tarmac section. I don't know what the track temperature is, but you need the RPM just right. Too high and you get too much wheel spin, too low and you bog. And on this occasion for Liam, it was probably 100, 200 RPM too low, but it didn't work out. Subaru, all that start testing looks to have paid off. That used to be their big weakness, but the WRX STI killed it off the start there. Great job.
Yeah, that was smooth like butter there. You could see him touching down, really compressing all of that suspension, and that was when he got the checkered flag. And you can see our next 2 competitors waiting in the wings. We were talking about that of Foust and Ollie Erickson. And there's Pastrana down there, and looks like he's worked it out. But guess what? Next battle for him will be Timmy Hansen. Speaking of next battle, we move on to the Golden Child, and he earned that nickname after drifting for numerous years, went over to Rallycross and won at X Games. So right now, Tanner Foust and Ollie Erickson getting that launch. Let's see how they go. Are they going to Joker lap? Are they going for the standard? Let's see how they go into that first turn. Here we go, Andrew Coley.
Foust got the start there, didn't he? Erickson's tucked up behind, so if this is a traditional approach, I think you'll see Erickson go Joker, but watch for the split here. Erickson's going Joker. You can see the rotation on the car on the way into the corner. He had it rotated more, so that he'll go Joker straight away. Foust now responds or doesn't. Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is quite a cool way for us at least to teach people, if they're new to Rallycross, how the tactics work, because when there's 7 cars, the tactics aren't quite so obvious. When there's just the 2, this is how you're looking at. Spotters will be going nuts with a stopwatch trying to figure out what that gap is and whether it's going up or down.
Perspective. And did you see he was flirting with the skirting up there? He absolutely, you know, the 007 chassis code of Liam Doran. Looks like Tanner Foust is more James Bond-esque because he threw the smoke screen. That's going to be difficult to see through.
He went all Aston Martin on us, didn't he? You know, up there at the top of the berm. So here comes Foust now. Let's get a good idea. Remember, Erickson was right on him, so this will give us another good idea of what the benchmark is on the Joker, and it's 4.6. So 4.6 seconds. Will Foust respond this time, or is he going to wait until the last lap? So watch for Foust. He's going to go standard lap. So Foust thinks he's quicker, and he's going to hold on till that last lap. So now we need to watch that gap back to Erickson.
Here we go. So Tanner Foust, watch how high See if he does it again. He was so high on that bank. All the photographers are like, "Thanks, Tanner. Really, bro? You broke my Canon
They'll be
lens."
getting those fancy little paint brushes out. The ones they do. You know the ones I mean? That's going to dust off the big guns.
So last lap should be very interesting. So 5.25 seconds. They estimate about 3 seconds for that Joker lap. Longer. So the gap could. Oh, Erickson though. Look at spinning a lot of tire.
I think it's close to 5. Erickson was 4.8 off the back of Foust on that last time. And previously we thought the same. Foust has just edged it out at 5.2, now 5.4. Yeah, I think the mistake from Erickson there is going to cost him any chance of nicking it at the merge.
So look at this. Let's see the time split here. And like you said, about 5 seconds, and that is 5.9. It's going to get hairy here. So look at Tanner Foust pushing the tires out of the way. He does have to go in the Joker lap. Make sure he does hit it. If he doesn't, he'd be penalized, but no, he does get it. So Tanner Foust, let's see this, Coley. What do you think?
I think Foust has got this, but Foust has also clipped the tyres, and the stewards can be notoriously a bit picky about that. It's closer than I thought. Erickson up the inside line, but he can't quite get it done. So 5.9 then is only just enough, Jared. Only just. So I reckon 5. What do you think? Maybe a bit more.
Yeah, up to 5, maybe 5.5 seconds. But Tanner Foust, he needs to keep this clean.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
see.
tidy. He's patient.
Yeah, well done. Well done by Tanner Foust. And he's going against Ollie, who's definitely a fierce competitor. I mean, that car has proven Tanner Foust getting used to the car. You know, his words with Katie saying, hey, I'm just learning the car with every turn.
Ollie's is a brand new build as well. So brand new build for Ollie coming through in P2, but it's the 16 chassis, the World Championship winning chassis of Ekstrom that wins, this time in the hands of Foust. And Foust books his place in the quarterfinals. Ollie won't like that. He hates losing. Hates it.
I mean, who likes losing?
Nobody.
Yeah.
But
it's just a dumb statement, Andrew. Why do you say that? Dude, I love losing. Losing's the best.
I get you. You wait.
They told us to have more fun with Nitro Rallycross. So
Katie, go see Oliver. Go see Oliver. See how pleased he is.
This is yeah. Let's go. Oh, Ollie, yeah. Okay. Hey, Ollie, how'd you feel about losing?
It sucks.
Oh man. So yeah, first lap, Tanner went really wide. He saved it all the way till the end, and he kind of learned from his mistake there on that bank.
Yeah, he was tidy, wasn't he, on the remaining lap? Still, it's say that there was a little tyre tap. I don't know whether or not the stewards. I don't think they will, because I don't think he gained. If he'd gained enough time, if it had been super close between him and Ollie, super close, then maybe the stewards would step in. But I tell you what, Ollie was closer than I thought he would be. When you look how slow the Audi was coming out the tunnel here, watch the traction though. Jared, look at this. He actually hop jumps, comes in a little bit too soon. That gives him a bit of understeer, and he would have had to wait on the throttle. But when he lights it up, the all-wheel drive just blasts him just out in front of Ollie Erickson. They're such impressive machines.
All right, as we are wrapping up this battle here, Foust gets the win, but Katie's with Travis once again.
Yeah, some other guy who loves battle brackets is Travis Pastrana. You were just talking to Scott Speed and Andreas Bakkerud with a whole lot of hand motions. What were you telling them?
So in the far corner, the hairpin, you can no longer get to the bottom. Everyone's going to go straight. So I said, if you're angled inside of them, they can't block it and you can't stop. So what happens in the corner, well, hopefully doesn't stay in the corner, but at least there's going to be a good place to pass.
Hey, good insight as we kick off this next round.
Yeah, no, dude, it was great.
All right, we're just talking off camera here. As we go to our next battle, who do we have? Steve Arpin and Robin Larsson. Robin, man, he was flying.
Larsson's start was dialed there. He's going to try and get in front of Arpin. Shuts the door on him. Arpin can't quite find a way through. Arpin does to the inside, taps the tyres. No room there. He's all over the back of Larsson. Larsson will rotate this tight on the inside. Arpin trying to find the traction. I think he'll go Joker again, but let's see if he bucks the trend. He doesn't. He goes Joker.
There you go. So Arpin, he just could not get around Robin. And look at this, the Yokohama Joker lap being utilized by Steve Arpin. And now they come into the bay. Ooh, look at Robin Larsson. Remember, if you can recall, coming off that jump, he went to that wall earlier.
There's two places people are making mistakes, Jared, all the while. One is the first berm, and the second one is this jump into the braking zone in the hairpin. And it's good. I want to see the driver's challenge. That's what Travis said as well, and that's what gives us the opportunity for passing. Arpin's only 5.4 back. He'll want to close that down, see if Larsson's feeling ballsy or not. If he is, he'll stay out. If he's not, he'll go defensive.
All right, Robin Larsson, maybe learning from his mistakes earlier, saying, hey, sit down now. Don't get too crazy, as there you see. And man, I loved how aggressive Arpin was out of the gate. He, slammed into that tire wall. He's chomping right on Larsson's heels.
He's closing him down. So it was 5.4, 5.2, it's 4.9. Larsson needs to respond now because Arpin is quicker. Larsson goes Joker, but he's sideways there. He has to wait on the throttle. Arpin can take this over the big gap jump.
Yep, this should be exciting here. Watch Larsson now. He goes in, little squeal right there underneath the bridge. And look at him. Arpin gets the pass.
Easy.
Well executed, but now, again, he's got him right on his heels now. He's got to keep it clean.
This is what we were after. This is what we wanted. We wanted a tight race. So Larsson, look, he's got the angle on the car. Watch for Larsson maybe trying something sneaky on the hairpin here. Rotate it early. Oh, slide. Now they're tidy. They're both
that was probably
tidy.
the best execution I've seen. Obviously, both the vehicles, but I got to say, Arpin was just that much crisper.
Yeah, Arpin's car's looking dialed underneath.
Yeah.
Lots of the teams have spoken about how they're having to dial into the fact this is like 90% loose. It's very different from the European tracks. The traction is king here. You want good exit from everything. And look at Arpin's gap Larsson here.
Yeah, we still got another lap here, so every single turn counts. Don't get loose. Don't get in that soot, that silt. That's going to eat you up. The way Arpin is just whipping this car around is really massive class. He's doing a really fine job. Here we go, over the jump one more time for these gentlemen. Well, last time for one of these gentlemen. For today, at least, look at Robin. Really a lot of air in between him and the vehicle.
Robin's tidy through there. We've seen two really different, distinct lines through the banking, which is look at that. Yes, Larsson.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is what I mean about him and Liam. There's a big competition about who's the sendiest, and the mistake from Arpin gets deep. Liam's nickname is Sendy McSanderson. Larsson is known for going backwards into pretty much anything it's possible to go backwards into. Yesterday, Liam's wife was like, Liam was like, oh, really sideways, didn't I, babe? She said, not as sideways as Larsson, and he didn't like it.
Of course not. Your wife throwing shade like that? Come on, dude.
But it hasn't worked this time, has it? Larsson sideways, not enough to beat Steve Arpin, and it's Arpin who takes it.
The Canadian Cowboy comes out on top. His number might be 00, but he is #1 in this case against Robin Larsson. So get this, Arpin and Foust will be going against each other. Former Ford teammates back in the day. It was like a Thursday, I think it was. That was the day. But let's take a look. This is how these gentlemen got it done. A great start there by Robin Larsson.
Squeeze it. He went to shut the door. Larsson, I reckon, looked in his mirror there because he squeezed and then squeezed back out again. So he maybe thought Arpin was just a foot closer than he actually was. Arpin then had a nose up the inside, but met the tyre bales. Nah, not going to happen. So he goes Joker immediately. And look at the advantage he had. Larsson coming out again with that bit of understeer. I wonder if cutting on. Look at Larsson, almost a wall tap for Larsson on the exit. But Arpin had that done. Really good drive from Steve. Really good.
Yeah, you wonder what was going through Robin's head. He's like, I'm going to this Joker lap, coming out of this tunnel, and looks, probably didn't see him because he's up to the right, and says, here comes Arpin, and drops in. So as Arpin and Larsson, Katie, Arpin gets the win, but how did he do so well?
Hey, I think it has to do a whole lot with his dirt modified races that he's been running this last year. He's also really been working on these cars himself, so he's getting a whole lot of different experience than maybe some of these other guys. He actually told me that he hasn't been in a rallycross car since 2019 at Mid-Ohio, and he said, I actually went and drove it over here at the parking lot not too far away. So I really think it's a combination of that car underneath him being dialed, but it's also those technical skills that he's been gaining in his dirt racing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, and again, might have to do with having a new baby too. Just kind of like all things exist. This is racing, but I'm out here having fun, and I think that's a fact.
I went and saw him sitting in the back of the hauler yesterday with Jussi Pinamaki. They were looking at the data and stuff, and Steve was like, you know what? We're having fun. We're supposed to be here. We're racing cars. I was like, how you doing? I'm at a racetrack. I'm racing cars. I'm having fun. Everything's good. I'm also, as you say, a brand new dad, which he's so excited about, which of course everybody would be. So congratulations to Steve and Jen. Jen, look forward to seeing you back at the track soon. We're one of them little pairs of baby cans, to keep those ears safe from these noisy rallycross cars.
So right now we're moving on to Scott Speed, who is our #2 qualifier. He will get a bye run, so he'll complete his 3 laps. Earlier we saw Timmy Hansen. He qualified #1, but he didn't go at it. He just kind of crawled through the track, just on a Friday afternoon cruise here. But Scott Speed, as Scott Speed is going through the course, again, we are going to take a look. I mean, all the drivers, they got to be excited. And Travis said, man, it's anybody's game, right? Anybody can get the win. But let's look some more into maybe their love loss or their affinity for other drivers.
there's an endless list of names that I'm excited to race against.
For 2021, I'm just excited, racing with my little brother Oliver.
Obviously, racing Travis Pastrana, I've never done that before. That'll be cool.
I think Travis is going to do extremely well. He's, we have a lot of jumps now, and Travis is really great at that.
I'm very excited to race against the RX Cartel. I've heard a lot about them.
We have been the team that people wants to beat, so I think that's good.
For me personally, I'm excited to race against myself. To me, it's always been a battle within.
I'm very excited to go race against both the Hansen team, right? Kevin and hopefully Timmy.
I want really to defend my title in all these 5 events that we have, and I'm just so eager to get going.
All right, as Scott Speed continues on through the course, seeing friends from all across the globe watching and tuning in. Gotta love this. We are locally here in North America on Peacock by NBC. And then, of course, we got again, around the world on YouTube. So thank you so much. I'm Jared Dienda. Andrew Coley and I are calling the action, and our other co-host, Kate Osborne, down in the pits and wrapping up with the drivers. And then our dude that's having fun out there, Todd Richards. He's having a blast. Again, whoever owns the Audis, I know there's 3 of them out there. Keep an eye on Todd Richards. Keep an eye. He might be stealing the car. It might escape. It's going home with Todd Richards. Can't fit in his bag, but he might very well just drive it home back to San Diego.
Yeah, it's great to have Todd with us on the team again, isn't it? Todd was the desk coach for Nitro World Games the last 2 times we were here in 18 and 19. He's an Audi driver himself. And a big Rallycross fan, so yeah, pleasure to have him back. And Kate as well, of course, got a big history in Rallycross, GRC. She worked on World RX as well. Yeah, we're getting the crew back together for Nitro Rallycross.
That's it. A 1, 2, 3, 4. As,
Send it.
Todd the Stingray Richards. That's how he gained his nickname. Old steak feet. He's cooking his feet. That's a list
You're
of our
going to need to go
names.
deep into Todd's Instagram to have the faintest idea what we're on about. But yeah. So Stingrays and Todd, they just don't get along, do they? 6 times, is it, Jared? 6 times? 6 times?
Real barbed foot Todd Richards. All right, so there's the checkered flag from our boy Patrick. Checkered flag with a Q, joining us out here. Again, getting the band back together. And there's Scott Speed, who has just a relationship with this course. Not the prettiest, but still exciting. And he wants to get out here. He has something to prove. As let's take a look as the bracket is shaping up a little bit further. Scott Speed, so we are more than halfway completed with our 16. Scott Speed will be going against either Rude Dude, Bad Rude, Attitude, Master Blued, Snackarud, Andreas Bakkerud, going against Kevin Hansen up next. When we come back, we'll be seeing Andreas Bakkerud and Kevin Hansen going against each other here at Utah Motorsports Campus, brought to us by the Utah Sports Commission. Nitro Rallycross continues.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 60 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Professional parts people.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road, the permission to take the scenic route, and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
And we are back at Utah Motorsports Campus for the battles that are just now starting to heat up like the temperature. Look at the starting lineup right there. You have Andreas Bakkerud in a longer Subaru and Kevin Hansen, who his car looks a little bit shorter. In talking with Andreas, he said that is a lacier but more forgiving car, and he actually prefers a longer one. It can be an advantage on this track as that dirt is always changing. We'll see if that's an advantage for him out there against Kevin Hansen. Guys?
Thank you so much, Katie. 30 seconds here, and we're going to get some words with Liam Doran. He's joining us up here.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Liam.
How are you doing?
It's unfortunate you have to join us, but happy to see your face,
If I'm honest, I'd rather not be in here, but I'm here all the same. So
what do you think of this bracket battle format, man? Here we are.
It's great. It's really cool. It's action, only I'm not in it. So yeah. It's,
I sensed maximum sarcasm mode there for a minute. You know, what do you think of it? I hate it. I'm not.
Still got my race suit on for no reason whatsoever.
It's all good.
I mean,
may as well leave.
At the end of the day, you lost 1 point. It comes down to tomorrow. What do you make of the track?
No, it's really fun. It's a great format of racing. The track's absolutely unbelievable to drive. It's getting complicated now. It's getting real tricky because it's slippery. But yeah, it's racing all the same.
Yeah. Here we go, Andrew. What do you got?
Bakkerud's got the start here from Kevin Hansen. Kevin looks to the inside line, going to get close onto the tailgate of the Subaru. This is advantage Bakkerud, but we're going to see two very different cars here. As Katie was saying, long wheelbase for the Subaru. Bakkerud competed in the Focus before, which was pretty long wheelbase. But don't forget, Kevin Hansen, the current champion, 2019 Nitro Rallycross champion here, will not want to lose the battle to Bakkerud. These two are fierce rivals.
Wow, Bakkerud is looking so fast. Over there on that bank, as Liam was just describing, it's getting loose. You get in that sill. We saw Tanner Foust use all of that bank going all the way to the top, almost dragging bumper. Now watch this whip. See, overshoots it. He's getting that sill.
It's super complicated because the blue groove looks like it's the way to go, but you don't know whether to drive carefully and just try and hide the inside line or just send it in backwards, and I don't know what one works yet, to be honest.
Liam, we're seeing people try a bunch of different stuff. The two places we're seeing the most mistakes are the step up into the hairpin, but also the first berm where we saw Larsson, your teammate, spin earlier.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that first
It's getting
corner?
quite rough as well, so you've got to think about preserving the car. You know, flats aren't going to work for anyone. So you've just got to think about that, and I think preserving the car to get the 3 laps in, but the clear thing at the moment is you've got to get the start. You have to get the start. You get out in front, you've got a clear track, and which is what Andreas has done.
Yeah, Bakkerud's gone Joker. The gap was 5.8. We know this is going to be close at 5.5. The big
close.
Subaru backing in now into the tunnel. Kevin Hansen coming up over the jump, going to be real close. Kevin's going to get it though. Bakkerud going to be alongside. He's going to go high on the back end. Kevin's low. Watch for the exit. Andreas going to come down low. Going to get the advantage here. Kevin's now got the inside line. Bakkerud goes high. Oh, Bakkerud's going to come low now into the dust. Out to the inside line. Going to try and get him at the hairpin, but Kevin goes defensive. He might be able to rotate it, Jared.
Man, these guys are going for it. You're pulling on my shirt. God, you're trying to unclothe me here. You get too excited, Andrew. Calm down.
You need to get used to this.
This is exactly. I love this. But you talk about the rivalry. Look how dusty the cars are. Now vision becomes difficult, right?
Now it's really tough for Andreas. It's really tough to follow now in this dusty spot, but Kevin's done a great job to get back from behind. Way good job.
You wish he has tear-offs right now on this windscreen, right? But no, he does not. So Kevin Hansen has the clean air. Bakkerud, he's getting very dusty. Both of them had hit the Joker lap, the Yokohama tire Joker lap. And look at that. Oh, yeah, Andreas with a wide swing there.
The thing is as well there, because of the way the dust is coming, look at the way it goes, Jared, from that inside line all the tarmac on the outside there's dirty and dusty. And Bakkerud's actually dropping back. He's gone to the Joker again.
To go to the Joker.
I think actually what happened there is he couldn't see where he was going.
Do you think so?
Honest. I think he hit straight into the tyre bundle with no idea where he was.
The only thing I wondered if he had an issue, obviously he wouldn't go for the gap with an issue, Liam, but the car...
It does. I think it's like I'm telling you, it's so hard to drive in these conditions. Practice this morning was an absolute piece of cake now to drive in this. It's like you have no clue as a driver whether it's better to go faster, slower, inside, outside, like... It's a proper gamble.
Are you gathering a bunch of data though for tomorrow? Like,
oh yeah,
this is going to be a similar
I'm really
time.
enjoying watching getting all the data. Like, it's so good. You go low, but it's really bumpy. If you go sideways through the bumps, you're going to DB the tyre. So like, I genuinely have not figured out a way around the corner. It probably looked that way as well.
And this is how it got done here. We see that of Andreas Bakkerud take that Yokohama tire Joker lap. And just let it be known, Kevin Hansen does get the win. This is exciting. This is an exchange. This is a boxing match.
This is what we want. This is what's great about the bank turns as well, is the fact it gives you the option line. So look, Bakkerud goes high, then he goes low. Bakkerud's entry to the Joker, he backed it in a little bit early and then had to pull the car out from the apex slightly. I wonder with that if he might have been able to shut the door, but your exit speed's so low, Jared. You're looking for grip and trying to find a way through. This side-by-side stuff here was just epic. Look at this. Kevin runs up into the dirt. Bakkerud's up the inside, it goes back the other way. Larsson jumped this inside line. There's another 3 feet of track width there, which people aren't using. Only Robin's used it so far.
As we take a look, so that coming off that step up there, Liam.
Look at Kevin here, like blocking.
Yep.
Kevin braked on the takeoff just to hold him behind him.
He cased it, didn't he?
Cased it deliberately, just so there was no chance. Just caught him out.
He got
big
fat.
time.
He got big. He got real fat.
It's smart. I mean, what can you say? It's smart. I'm going to have to put it out there and say that Andreas' strategy there was really bad. There's no way he should have joked it on the second lap.
You think so? Go on, tell us, talk us through
He's
it.
leading the race. The track's yours. The track's clear. There's no dust. All you've got to do is put your back wheel on a little bit of fluff, create some dust, and the guy's going backwards behind you. So the fact that he didn't take another lap and create some more dust.
So that's what you would.
So what you 100%. It was my plan from the start. But
what, to make the track dirty for the guy behind you? So you'd literally run offline on purpose
into the lead, destroy the track. No one's going past you. But he joked and let him pass him. So sorry, Bert. I'm going to have to tell that was bad.
Sorry, Bert.
Oh man, you love that. I mean, that's what drivers. I mean, they're looking at technique, their strategy, and it's only 3.
Earlier on in the event, we were clearing the jump, no problem. You now can't stop. You just simply can't stop for that corner. So you're better off casing the jump.
And if you watch Francis' rear quarter window, it's open, so that car is going to be absolutely full of dust. And breathing it in, it can be
pace. Just keep it slow, keep it mellow.
And so it's a great win for McConnell. Really confident. Bigham crosses the line. Bigham's out for today, but Fraser McConnell's going through to the next one.
This is a little bit of a worlds colliding, huh, Liam? Like it just with the brackets for me, announcing drifting. This is kind of a melding, right?
100%. Yeah. It's well, as soon as I saw the format come out, the first thing I thought was Formula Drift. Because I didn't want to be sitting out your top 8, grade 8, all that stuff. I was looking forward to it, if I'm honest. But it is how it is. But I think it's a great format. It's 100% a great format, and it's good. Give you good action.
Talk us through what you're seeing from Fraser here.
Well, Fraser's had good times all day. He was fast this morning when the track was tacky. He's been fast even when it's greased up now, and it's super slippery. But he's adapted to it really well. I'm jealous, if I'm honest.
80 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. That's faster than an Aventador. That's faster than a Veyron. And in spite of what your friend Mike says, who lives next door, who just got the new Snap, Crackle, and Pop tune on his Mustang, well, it's faster than that too.
the Rice Krispie treat, right?
Yeah.
Michael's a great guy. I don't know why Todd's got something against him in his Ford Must Snap, Crackle, Pop. Do you have Rice Krispie treats?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
okay,
Yeah, we have
cool.
Rice Krispie treats.
Sure.
I've actually got a Snap, Crackle, and Pop map on my car as well.
Have you really? Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
on your Audi, your wagon, right? You have your wagon at home. Of course you do.
I do, yeah.
Liam,
You've got to have Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Liam, tell us about the RS6, Liam. It's
You've caught me off guard here.
I was like, who is it? But like, hey man, I saw you won the X Games. You really seem like a jerk because the quote was when he won X Games. It was so easy.
There's been a massive. It really bit me. That did really hard. It did because everyone thought I was being genuine, but no one realised it because where the area I'm from in southeast England, it was like, well, what can you say? But then everyone was like, he's legit a jerk. Like that was not cool. I mean, that wasn't necessary, was it?
He's got a tyre shredding Audi, which and he has shredded some tyre. And so he was on the back foot in terms of getting it prepped. Straight over the gap jump. Ollie Bennett, to be fair, said it was like his motocross days. Green light for those two. And Ollie Bennett's got a brilliant start. Put the squeeze on Kevin Hansen. The run to turn 1. Going to shut the door. Liam, you had a little bit of a hand
that was a great job by Bennett to be getting the lead from the outside there. Yeah, it's a great car.
Peacock engine, isn't it?
Peacock engine, engineered by myself, that car is. So,
Here he goes again. The humility is just stacking on.
No, I'm just joking.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
What a jerk. Who invited him into the commentary box?
I think it's one of you guys.
He's the most humble guy he knows.
If you're wondering how Liam got it, by the way, I texted Liam and he didn't reply, so I texted Andrea and he was here 2 minutes later.
Yeah. So you know how it works.
Bennett, all joking aside, Bennett takes kind of an awkward line here. This is that momentum. Let's see.
Nah, too late on the race.
Not ideal.
Ollie's taking a different line there in the hairpin. He's the first guy we've seen go on then back.
I think Kevin's had a big half spin in the background. He's not over the tabletop jump at the back. He's a long way back. So Bennett spotters need to see this now.
Yeah.
Look at the gap.
Joker.
Go.
Gotta be done, boys. Getting
Joker now?
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Interesting.
Let's take a breath. So basically, Bennett there, I thought he'd broken the car.
I think he just bumped the car down.
Down at the end.
The car's not rotating. Yeah. That's the problem. I mean, both when he came in on turn 1.
The track's so awkward. The track's so awkward. Like, to attack the track, you can't. So he might have just taken the decision, listen, I'll find my way into the corner, but I can get out of it at least.
Style motocross, and now rallycross. When we're going to all the tracks, I'm making sure that I'm not putting anyone on that track
until I've jumped all the jumps, until we've worked out all the damages, all the pitfalls, all the breaks. And I'm very fortunate to be with a company of Subaru that is taking a lot of money that no one will ever see and investing it into building this series. It's been a wild ride. We have 3 tracks to build, and we're gonna get it done, and they're gonna be absolutely amazing.
And you know what happens when Travis Pastrana thinks of things? Well, they become big and they become exciting.
We've got a bit of track maintenance going on here at Utah Motorsports Campus for Nitro Rallycross, taking a look around cars down in the pre-grid, getting themselves ready to continue the battles. Ollie Bennett with the front end of the Mini up. He had a few issues. The team working on that, getting himself ready. We've got ourselves 8 cars going through to the quarterfinals, semis and final to come after that as well. That's the view of the beautiful mountains in the background here at Utah. Water being fired out the back of the trucks. That's just to damp things down a little bit. We've got the Bobcats out there as well. They're just like the little excavators which have got sweepers and buckets on them. They worked so hard last night to get this track into great condition for this morning's action and this afternoon. And I have to say, it's been absolutely brilliant so far. My name's Andrew Coley, Jared Deander on commentary with me here as well. We've got Katie Osborne down in the paddock, talking to the drivers, bringing us some updates on what's going on, and Todd Richard of Travis Pastrana. We had a ride with Travis Pastrana in the 199 car. So here you go, here's an onboard of this incredible track, the birthplace of Nitro Rallycross.
Hopefully this is going to make the field a lot more spread out, a lot less carnage, but there is a hairpin at the end of that long outside left lane. Both lanes, inside and outside, are within 1/10 of a second. Really good chicane right through here, coming up to the best roller coaster you'll ever see, 130 feet to the sweet spot. All the lanes come back together, merging into the Talladega right. You can cut that a little bit tight and then go over the bump to the inside. Super fun, feels like just an awesome roller coaster ride all the way around into a big old jump right here. You have the option to kind of stay and hug that tire or use a little bit of the berm on the outside. This is a big difference from last year. We're staying on the pavement, keeping a little bit more speed. Should make for some great passing in this left-hand corner. There's a berm on the outside or you can hug the inside. Both are equally as quick. Coming down, it gets really narrow, going right across this finish line, and that is a lap of Nitro Rallycross Round 1.
Great look at the track. We're going to head down and have a catch up with Katie Osborne, who's with Timmy Hansen, and get Timmy's thoughts on how conditions are down there now as we head into the quarterfinals of the battles. Timmy,
that's a Red Bull team right here. Look at this. These two bulls are going at it. See who's going to take out each other here, man. Timmy Hansen, Travis Pastrana.
When Kevin won last year, he was like, that's it, I'm banning the Swedes, because Timmy had won the first year, Kevin won the second. He's like, that's it, they're not coming anymore. Okay, about half the field is still Swedish, so yeah. Travis obviously decided, no, it's cool, all right, we need them. But yeah, this is a good one, you know. Come on, Travis. Get it done.
Meatballs. We're talking about Volvos. We're talking about IKEA. That's what Switzerland makes, and the Hansen Bros. That's what they do. You put your bum on the Swedish. The Swedish. That's a deep Tom Green quote right there. For whatever reason, I pulled that out of my bag of tricks. But look at the set. Look at the stage here. Beautiful day, and this is the forecast for this weekend. This is how our girl. The 30-second card is up. And she exits stage left. 10 seconds till full pull on our first battle in this Great 8. So round 2, heat 1, Timmy Hansen, TP Travis Pastrana.
Hansen's on a great run of form this year. He's competing in the World Rallycross Championship, but also in Extreme E, the electric off-road series.
Busy man.
He just seems to be on the podium on the top step quite a lot of the time. Good start for Pastrana on the outside, but Hansen going to out-drag him down the inside line. Or Travis having none of it, going to try and go all the way around the outside in the big Subaru. Going to get on the bars, going for the sideways drift. Now he's going to straighten up to the inside line, but Timmy's there just in front of me. Tidily done by Travis.
Well done. Not knocking on heaven's door, but knocking on Hansen's door. They're both going for the jump, and here we go. Send it full pull to the moon. Not talking Dogecoin. Travis going wide. Let's see how he handles this bank. Woo-wee!
He's going for the wide line, going to try and get inside of Hansen. He does. Contact between them, going to cut the inside line. Brilliant move from Pastrana. Timmy gets back on the inside line again, over the jump now, coming up to the braking zone. Travis going to get on the bar. He'll look for the inside line here. Got it done. Timmy runs wide. Pastrana with some brilliant racecraft here.
man.
Timmy's got the inside of the tarmac.
Look at this mosh pit of a battle here between Hansen and Pastrana. This is just an appetizer, man. This is a blooming onion. Oh, look at that Hansen kind of going.
Hansen's back on it. He's seen 3 or 4 passes on this lap. This is absolutely brilliant racing from these two. Pastrana, Hansen is in this incredible run of form. Pastrana's taking it to him. Pastrana's the first person not to Joker when he lost the start. He's gone, no, I'm going with you. Let's fight.
Yep, anything you can do, I can do better as he shadows him around. Who's going to take the Joker or not? Neither of them take the Joker. So here we go. This is lap 2, and both of them airing it out. Really like Pastrana's line on that berm and in the bank. Now Hansen looks like he gets clean out. Look at that rut, that massive rut.
Travis can do both. We saw him go high and wide on the last one. Now he's gone tight and low. I mean, look, Travis, don't forget, ARA Rally Champion this year with Rhiannon Gelsomino. Brilliant job. Hansen runs a bit deep, but Travis keeps it tidy. The only thing I would say is by not jokering on lap 2, he didn't give himself any option. He has to now pass on track, and that's tough. But we want to see great racing, and Travis, you almost know, don't you, what's the best show? Sorry, I'll go with him.
Oh, look at TV going over a little sideways, a little nasty. White flag is out. So here's the scenario. Both of them have completed 2 laps. This is the final lap. The Joker lap needs to get hit by both the drivers. Take that Yokohama Joker lap. This is going to get exciting. Who's coming out first? Let's see what we got.
Travis closed Timmy down there, but Timmy was pretty sideways in that corner. Look at the way he's got the Subaru rotating again on the way in. He's going to be in the dust cloud now. It's tricky. So this is the first time we've seen it from the drone like this. It's actually downhill, meaning it's hard to spot where the inside line is. Oh! Hansen into the wall. Did Travis push him off?
Let's roll the tape back, my friends. Whoa. They come out of that Yokohama.
So the thing is, Travis could have been in the dust there and genuinely not seen how quick behind he was.
All right. We see whose team you're on.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Or we could have seen a mistake from Timmy.
That, maybe Timmy just spun out, maybe got a little out of shape. But regardless, checkered flag waves for Travis Pastrana. Timmy Hansen still stranded back there outside of that Yokohama Tire Joker lap.
I agree with you that there isn't the damage on the front there. I'm looking at the back of the back of Timmy's car shows maybe contact. So
under investigation. Dunk dunk. like insert Law and Order theme song. Dunk dunk. Right? Executive producer Dick Wolf. Executive producer Todd Richards, the Stingray.
Right,
so look at this.
Maybe we'll see it. Look at this. First of all, look at this for a battle. This is all, remember, we're calling this battles. This is the battle section of qualifying.
He's saying battle, everybody. Battle.
Dude.
Oh, the battle. Sorry about that.
It's a battle. It's a battle, whatever. It was just great racing. Watch Pastrana here. The car's up with a load of action. Right? He goes deep on the brakes and goes high into the loose. You're like, that won't work. But he lights it up. So we're hearing Hansen out of mechanical. And so, okay, that would be excusable.
Final verdict. Have we gotten the official?
I'm looking across at Krista in race control now.
Keep in mind the winner goes to the Final 4. Katie, talk to him.
Yeah, no, you guys, I wish you guys were down here because he's actually smiling and said, this was awesome. Your takeaway from that, I mean, what's that?
Definitely the American. Scott's trying to take that title from him over here with NRX, but no, felt really good. And once he got around, like, I knew on the jump, I didn't even hit the button. I just went till I was almost caught up to him and then slammed the brakes on the takeoff. So the car's flying all sideways, but we were able to make almost a passer on the outside there. Super slick, so it's hard to get woed up, really. And Timmy somehow passed me 2 times super clean. So sorry, Timmy, you are absolutely amazing. And then he was pulling up, having a tire go down or something. But so I mean, no doubt he's a better driver. But when something had happened mechanically, I actually didn't just punt him off the track. And that one, he was just almost stopped. So there was some reason he wasn't turning. So sorry.
We got that side of the story. Let's get to the start line for another one.
All right, so let's go on to this next battle. We'll get back to that scenario between that of Hansen and Pastrana. Pastrana looks like he does advance on, but right now, who's advancing on to go against him? Tanner Foust or Steve Arpin? Look at that nice pass to the inside. Like he said, Arpin's been driving so well.
I thought Arpin was going to have him there. He's going to go Joker instead, so he got alongside him. This is what we're seeing. It's the old thing of because it's so slippery and people are going in a little bit deep, it lets you get alongside, and they go high, you go low. You go high, they go low. That's where the bank turns are so good. And we've seen other rallycross tracks now go with the man corners. Okay, we're hearing no penalty from race control. Travis Pastrana wins. Was it maybe a puncture for Timmy? We think puncture for Timmy, so I think...
That front left, you just check your phone. That front left looked like he had a de-beating. Let's call it a de-beating there, and then that caused him to slow down, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's talk about how Foust and Arpin are doing. 4.5 seconds. We talk about that Yokohama tire Joker lap being about 5 seconds. Arpin could be setting himself up for success as he's gaining child Tanner Foust.
See what the gap is as they come over the line this time. Ref 4.2 is close enough. He's close enough. So
when's Tanner going in? There's no way he's going to Yokohama tires overlap.
So this is the flip side. No, so this is the flip side of the tactics. So you're out front and you think you're getting away, you can stay out if you want. If you think they're gaining on you, you can close. If you've already got too small a gap, you can't joke because he knows he'll lose out to Arpin. So now he has to stay out, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to pull away. His spotter's in his head saying 4.2. You know, he's closing it. It was, you know, this lap. And Arpin, I'm telling you, he's performing surgery.
He is. Arpin's been a weapon here. I'll bet you Pinamaki's on the radio going, Tommy.
I think it's smart. I think he's playing a good role here. Now he's going to really get that car to rotate tight into that first turn.
It's another 10th. So Foust is doing a good job. He's taking another 10th, but I don't think 4.6 is going to be enough. Tanner Foust going to go Joker now. In the background, here comes Arpin. Watching out for the merge after the big jump.
Here we go, Arpin, and they should be door-to-door, and no, Arpin gets the jump on him. Now he's gonna take that tighter, cleaner line, and then look at Tanner Foust. He starts at the top and then works his way down. We can see another pass. Oh, Miley Cyrus, look at this thing.
That was aggressive, but it was good. Arpin's gonna go inside here, and Arpin's got it back again. So Arpin gets Foust back. Foust runs deep, drops the car out in the loose stuff. There you go.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Faust's pass was pretty, it was hard. I think it was fair. In Rallycross terms, it was a fair pass, but this is a great win for Steve Arpin. He's going to get it done over the tabletop and down off the start, finish straight now. Yeah.
Look at Arpin's team cheering him on like Tuscan Raiders from the side over here. And the Sand People, you can see the Hemp Fusion vehicle and Yokohama tires gets the win. There you go, Steve Arpin gets the win.
I can actually do a pretty good impression of a...
Tuscan Raider?
Yes, I can. But
go ahead.
No,
lay it
on
me.
Not right now. Maybe like... Oh, it's under investigation. But if anything's under investigation there, I think it will be the Foust move up the
100%.
inside. So really, it doesn't make any odds.
No.
Unless there's something we haven't seen.
Arpin had it coming. I'm just kidding. Hey, great race here, though. This just goes to show you alternating positions. Arpin just really, again, performing surgery on this track. I believe this, so coming off of this bank into this turn, did Arpin turn in?
I think, look, Foust...
That angle didn't really help the effort
Foust
here.
a fair way up the inside. Championship round of Nitro Rallycross here at Utah Motorsports Campus.
All right, here we go with Kevin Hansen, Scott Speed. Look at the smile of Kevin Hansen. Let's see if he could take it to the top. And Speed, he was, you know, this is the first time he's going head-to-head. This is his first bracket battle because he did get that #2 qualifying position. So he got a bye run into this. Now he has to earn it, going against Kevin Hansen, who has a great history with this track.
Brilliant start between both cars, and Speed, who's been doing all that start testing for Subaru, absolutely got it done. I spoke to the engineers at Subaru, and they just said that Scott's ability to repeat the exact same thing again and again and again is what they needed with the start testing. So you know he's got the repetitiveness to get the data they needed. And he goes Joker on lap 1, so that's what Liam Doran said he was going to do. Joker from the lead, do you remember? And then he thought that, but he thought
that technique.
He thought Pastrana would go in with him, but Kevin's been clever enough to not go in with him. So you take the lead and you go in. So that hasn't worked. That was, okay, there we go. So Kevin now's going to try and gap him. It's only 3.7 the gap at the moment, so it's not enough.
Let's see how they handle this. Now we're starting to see some more turns on this track and really getting loose. And we saw Tanner Foust scrub a lot of speed, and Scott Speed almost coming to a halt there, coming off of that step up. But Kevin Hansen continues on. Let's see what our time here is between.
3.9. Hansen gapped him by 2/10, but at the minute it's not enough. We know that. So we saw earlier on. What was the gap for Arpin? 4.6, I think, wasn't it, in the end? And it was almost side by side. I think if Arpin had been a bit more wily and gassed it up early in the banking and run high, he could.
Yeah. So Kevin Hansen right now with that 3.719 split, as you just said, Coley. He needs to get some more ground. Scott Speed, he's got him on a hook. 3.375 seconds. That lead, here we go.
Kevin's not tidy on the way into the Joker either. He runs deep on the right hand, and this isn't even going to be close.
No.
Speed is over the top as Kevin goes into the tunnel. Scott Speed.
That Lenny, by design, to take speed out of the car. So
through to those final stages.
Started this day with the Subarus kind of having a lack. Doesn't normally get a good start, even though this is speed. He got the jump.
That Peugeot's got a great start on it as well, Jared. You know, Subaru starts were weak. We said they've been off, they've done the testing, they've done this aero, they've been doing durability testing on engine and transmission, and Scott's been responsible for a lot of that. It's a short hop for him up to Vermont to go testing, and they got it done. But this was the unique thing on Joker straight away. I wonder if they thought Kevin would get sucked in. Kevin doesn't get sucked in, but great. He was 3.5 back and reeled him in.
And this is how it ended. Scott had massive, 3.3, right, 3.5, 3.3, right? And that gap. And Fraser McConnell, again, talking about Jamaica's own here. Uncle Sal cheering him on here.
Uncle Sal.
Yeah.
We asked the drivers to name their cars. So Ollie Bennett was like, yeah, it's the Excite Energy Mini. I was like, Fraz, what do you want to call the car? He's like, it's the OMSC Yardman Fiesta. I was like, okay, Yardman. He's like, Yardman. I'm like, okay, dude, I'll keep practicing.
Yep.
But you will not find a guy who's prouder of his nation than Fraser McConnell. He's had the Jamaican flag as the colours on his car for the last 3 seasons, maybe 4, I think. And it's been lovely to watch his progression. He was driving ARX2. He came in wild, like we saw Casper Janssen earlier. He finished that season tidy. And since then, Jared, he's just got better and better. A couple of seasons in Supercar now. He's a real threat.
And the big thing here, let's watch Oliver Bennett. He got a great start. We have Liam Doran up here. He says he developed that car. Wasn't getting the car to rotate. Let's see how it rotates in his first turn. Fraser McConnell gets the jump. Oliver Bennett right there in tow. Let's see how we go into that first turn around that tire bale. And Fraser McConnell keeps it tight. And there it is. Oliver Bennett not getting that car to rotate.
They had Bennett's car up on jacks just a moment ago before we were getting into the quarterfinals. I wonder if they were maybe trying to take the roll bar off or do something at the front to make it turn in a little bit more. So they've done some work to that, but Fraz has got him, and based on form, you'd think that Fraz would probably get this done, but we'll see. We've seen lots of problems for people so far.
And take a note, when we go past that bank after the big gap jump, take a look, middle of the road, middle of that bank, the car really gets disrupted. Once it kind of initiates and throws in, it really gets bucked. So I want you to pay attention there, Cole. They get another set of eyes on it as Oliver Bennett
pulled off. Bennett's pulled off. So it's an issue for the Mini. So Fraser McConnell's going to take this, and the Excite Racing Mini is in the background. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry for Ollie because he did well to get through to this round, but Fraser now will get the radio call that Ollie is out, and they'll just say, wind it in, you're all good. You're all good. So Fraz is going to go through to the semi-finals against Scott Speed.
Yeah, so McConnell, as long as he continues on, he will finish out. But as Liam was given a lot of accolades saying the car is looking good, he's looking strong, and now he hits a Joker lap by design, he doesn't have anybody in his rearview mirror.
So Fraser at the start of the Rallycross, all of those sponsors are local to Jamaica and the Caribbean. It's like a really cool local effort, and I love it. I really do. You'll see a bunch of support for him online. Yeah, it's good.
Background. Do you know his,
rally
his
driver.
racing pedigree?
Yeah, he did say he'd done some circuit races as well, but it was the rally driving thing into Rallycross. Over the line. He's got one more lap to go. Fraz dives on the brakes at the end of the straight. He's still using this as a bit of a test session. Coming up to the long left-hander, rotates it nicely to the inside. Right, Pastrana versus Arpin, Speed versus McConnell.
Listen, Arpin has been performing really well. Fraser McConnell and Scott Speed, again, this longer wheelbase. These Subarus, getting them to rotate in the dust. I'm kind of leaning towards, we're looking at Fraz right now and the way he's executing it.
I'm liking it. I'm glad you went for it. Right?
I did. I had to.
We said this.
This is only bracket battles. Okay, there's one point at stake.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it like I see him. Like I said, you can't tell the future
They're both on
unless
form.
you look at the past.
They're both on form.
And guess what? Tomorrow, that's when I'm not able as 10 cars, the track, the jump, the Yokohama Tire Joker. I mean, this is how it started here. Fraser McConnell. What happened to Ollie?
Fraz's exit through the issue. Although there, you see, if he's dipped the rear left in and broken a shaft or Bennett did message me earlier they'd had an issue. I'll drop him a message now and see if we can find out what.
Slide in those DMs.
Yeah.
You getting up in Ollie's DMs?
No, we're all good.
Keep it creepy there, Coley. Creepy Coley.
He messaged me, so creepy.
And here's taking a look at the bracket as Fraser McConnell crosses that finish line, and we talked about forging that Final Four, the Tiger Power Sandals Yardman. The vehicle
the
here.
Yardman Fiesta.
Yep, the Yardman Fiesta. Forever. All right, come on. There's the shape-up of our Nitro Rallycross. Thank you to the Utah Sports Commission for having us out here. Pastrana versus Arpin, Speed versus McConnell. What did Ollie say?
So they had issues earlier on with the diff release and some bubbles in various bits of stuff. But I've texted.
Working through what?
A little bit of a run on him around the outside of the bowl turn, and I was like, oh man, this is going into the door. I thought he was going to take me in the hairpin, and I just got in there.
Slicker's got his money on. Who do you guys have?
In a bad way, but slicker in a good way, meaning faster. As we will do some track maintenance when we come back here to Utah Motorsports Campus. Thank you so much. Round 1 of Nitro Rallycross. Jared Diendo, Andrew Coley, Kate Osborne, and the Stingray, Todd Richards. We'll be back with some more action.
Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Professional parts people.
I am the trusty co-pilot. The moving part that moves all 2,000 parts. I am the translator who interprets the road. The permission to take the scenic route and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
From across the deserts to the mountains and countless racetracks in between, Yokohama Tire has a storied history in advancing drivers to new levels. Originating in the motorsports department in 1978, the Advan brand of Yokohama has spent over 4 decades allowing drivers to take their vehicles beyond what they thought was possible. While there is an endless amount of science and technology that goes into each tire, in the end, it's the connection between the driver and the tire.
With fancy cars like you get in Nitro Rallycross, you got a lot of super technical things. They're loud, they have huge amount of horsepower, but in any machine, the thing that connects the machine to the road are the tires.
And it's awesome when you have a tire that gives you maximum grip, but when everything's about to let loose, you know you got it.
Going over big jumps like this, and bank corners, fast corners, Yokohama Tires is what's got our back.
Nitro Rallycross and its drivers will start the next chapter in the Advan Tires legacy.
This is the Utah Motorsports Campus in Salt Lake City, home of the first NRX event of the season. It's time to turn up the adrenaline with Nitro Rallycross. This one-of-a-kind dirt track is as technical as it is thrilling. A 100-foot-plus jump is the main feature of a mind-blowing crossover, including a smaller 50-foot jump complete with tunnel. The innovative nearly 1-mile course is even better close-up from one of the 8,000 grandstand seats or the trackside seating. This is a track that will push the drivers and cars to their absolute limits. Buckle up and hold on tight. This is Nitro RX. NRX is here, a new championship across multiple rounds in North America. And it all came from the mind of this man, Travis Pastrana.
What do I love most about rally? Well, competition. I love competition, whether it's foosball,
or pit bikes or motocross, I love to be competitive. I want to be able to fly, I want to be able to slide. And Rallycross was the closest thing to what I loved, but I still thought the drivers can be challenged more. The cars can be challenged more. The crowd can be more entertained. And that's why we started Nitro Rallycross.
Travis Pastrana is the epitome of living on the edge.
He did have to take a brief intermission after that last run because he chipped his tooth.
And pushing limits. His determination to showcase what these cars can really do was the catalyst to the birth of NRX.
For me, I think what's going to scare most people is the jump. I mean, there's a jump over a tunnel. So there's a chance that 3 drivers will be over top of each other at one time, which is pretty mind-blowing for most car racers. But I think the coolest part is going to be the outsides are pretty much huge banked corners like Talladega, and the insides are flat, so you just slide in the car. So hopefully this will allow a lot more opportunity to pass, a lot more opportunity for good racing without having to follow the same line.
In 2018, Travis and his team set to work designing the ultimate track at the Utah Motorsports Campus that included a 100-foot plus gap jump.
I believe that if you're an F1 driver, if you're a NASCAR driver, if you're an Indy driver, if you're a World Rally driver, you want to drive Rallycross, but the tracks haven't challenged the vehicles. They haven't challenged the drivers enough to get them over. And I want every track to be different. I want one track to be snow and ice, one track to be sand, one track to be dusty. Yeah, it's not ideal race conditions, but let's see who powers through. Let's have big jumps at this track and small jumps at this track. Let's have off cameras at this track and berms at this track. Let's challenge the drivers. If the drivers are excited, we found out at Nitro Circus, like if the riders are excited, the crowd's excited.
The world held its breath for the first Nitro Rallycross, with the likes of World Rallycross Championship stars, such as Matthias Ekstrom and Timmy Hansen, battling against domestic rally icons like Ken Block and Tanner Foust. Timmy Hansen, who took the first title.
We jokered early, great strategy, and every lap I was able to close the gap. The win today feels incredible, Nitro World Games gold.
It wasn't long before Nitro Rallycross became the big attraction on the worldwide Rallycross calendar. In 2019, Hansen's younger brother Kevin, who had previously watched Timmy from the pit lanes, took to the track to win the second ever Nitro Rallycross title. Then a global pandemic struck, derailing last year's plans. And so NRX will relaunch in 2021. And a global audience will witness a highly competitive championship with 5 stops that spread right across North America, from Utah to Minnesota to Arizona, California, and Florida.
This year, Nitro Rallycross is a proper championship. I mean, we had 2 one-off events. We learned a lot from each of those. We believe that now's the time. We can get the best in the world, and we're going to have the best teams. We're going to have the best cars. We're going to have the most relatable and the highest flying series on Earth. And I can't wait to see what happens this year. It's only going to grow.
Welcome back here to Utah Motorsports Campus. And we are getting prepared for our final 4 battles. We're seeing Pastrana versus that man. That is Steve Arpin, all these gentlemen on Yokohama Tires. Thank you to Yokohama Tires, the spec tire of Nitro Rallycross, and a sponsor of the Yokohama Tires Joker Lap. All right, let's throw it down to Katie Osborne, who's got an update on the 00.
Well, that 00 of Steve Arpin, we know there were some good battles with Tanner Foust there. I said, how's your car? And he said, sleeping. To be aware of here, and one keeping his eyes on is the merge into the jump, and then that turn after the step up. So those are the couple of things he's thinking about as lining up.
All right, well, a little static there, but no static for Arpin. Again, a lot of confidence for him. That's kind of what I read into there. What are your thoughts here? Pastrana or Arpin, you put me on the spot as far as who's going to advance on. My money was on Steve. Are you just going to kind of juxtaposition me or what?
I think Steve's pace is awesome, but Pastrana's aggression with the passes on Hansen were brilliant. And by the way, we had an update from race control. So you remember Pastrana was into the back of Hansen, put him in the wall. We were like, oh, wow. Susan Hansen got on the text straight away. Timmy said immediately that was not Travis's fault. I had a broken rim on the front and I stalled up in the tunnel. So great stuff from Timmy Hansen, super honest about it, yeah, and that's what we like to see. So yeah, good lad, Timmy, nice one.
Yeah, good sportsmanship, giving some clarity to that situation. Again, had a broken wheel, basically balked and threw a wall in front of him. Travis can't go anywhere. He goes in the back of him. All right, there we are seeing that Subaru, the 199 of Travis Pastrana on the far side, that low and bro vehicle of Steve Arpin. The winner going to the finals and 1 point richer. Who's coming out on top? 10-second car from Yokohama Tire Girl leaving the start line. Get out of the way. These gentlemen are going to be flying. And Travis always saying he doesn't have a good start. He has definitely proved himself wrong up until this point. Steve would like to put a stop to it.
Yeah, he would indeed. Travis Pastrana, we know the Subaru's been starting well thanks to that testing. Got to get the reactions right. Ready to race goes out. Here we go. Green light, brilliant start, but then bombed away from the line. It was a great reaction time for Pastrana, and I thought Arpin had been beaten, but then the Subaru bogged and Arpin just pulled straight out in front. So now Steve, I think he would ideally like Travis not to go with him. Travis did not joker last time, though. He went with the lead driver, and he's going to do the same again. So he's doing what he did to Timmy Hansen. Pastrana's going to try and put a pass on Arpin.
Watch this. You talked about the aggression. This is where it's going to show up. Is Arpin going to shut the door? And look at the different strategies here. And there, nice and high, drops in, but Arpin could come back. No, he does not. There you go.
That is a super clean pass. That's the cleanest pass we've seen from Travis. That was an absolute banger. Went high-low, got it done, into the next corner and there. So Arpin now's got to decide, does he try and out-tactic Travis by going joker and do it on lap times, or can he try and pass him? But brilliant move from Pastrana.
Well, is Pastrana going to take the Yokohama Tire Joker lap as well? I mean, the question lies, are they saving it for that final lap? Remember, the winner goes to the finals. Now they're crossing that finish line. The green flag is out. 2 laps left to go.
I'm confident that whatever Travis does, I think Arpin, he's on the radio to him, he's looking at the gaps and telling him, stay calm, take the joker, don't try and fight back now. You know, this part of the track's slippery. So similar to NASCAR, the whole high-low thing. Yeah, it's a big gap.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, there should be enough for Pastrana, so Travis will be waiting, and he'll get a call as well from his spotter, but I mean, he knows he's got to do it this lap. The ultimate sin, of course, is forgetting to joker. And plenty of people have done that. It sounds daft. You're like, surely you can count to 5. No, not when you're driving a 600 horsepower supercar. Counting to 5 is the least thing on your mind.
Here we go. So
straight in.
Yep, Travis does hit the Yokohama Tire Joker lap. 6.6 seconds is the split. If right now Travis comes out of this and he will have the lead, Arpin's going to try to catch up to him. Look at that. There's about 1.5 seconds between these two gentlemen. Travis Pastrana diving low, then working high, coming back in. The only time he went high was when he went that pass. He started high, dropped in on the inside of Arpin, and he hasn't looked back since. And look at that. Again, Liam Doran was talking about it. Casing that step up on purpose to scrub some speed so your momentum doesn't throw you beyond that blue groove. Remember, the winner going to the finals. What do you got?
We're going to have a new TQ here, definitely, because, of course, Timmy Hansen is out. He got the TQ the year he won. Patrick Sandell got it the year, the other year, the 2 years we've been. So neither of those drivers, clearly, Sandell's not here, and Hansen is out. So Pastrana, could he take the first championship TQ at Nitro Rallycross here? It would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? It would be kind of a good story. The amount of work everybody put in last night, including Travis, to make this track look as great as it looks today. We've seen some brilliant racing in the brackets. Look at that.
Yep, just the shape of things to come going into tomorrow's main event. 10 cars at the same time. This is the pass. So watch this. Arpin takes a lower line. Pastrana takes a higher line. And this is exactly was the X factor that Travis had that would definitely get him the win. Arpin clean, but Pastrana more aggressive. He showed his teeth, he showed his claws.
The only way Arpin could have stopped that was to wait ages, almost to park it on the apex, not to allow Travis to go high-low. You know, so you keep it down on the apex and make Travis go all the way around the outside. Arpin knows he's coming, so he gets on the gas early, runs deep. Pastrana knows exactly what's going to happen. Thank you very much.
Tries to throw it right in the mashed potatoes, but there is Travis Pastrana going underneath in that Yokohama Tire Joker lap. 6.6 seconds as he entered it. Obviously, when Arpin landed that, gained some ground there, but not enough, as Arpin took the Joker on that second lap. And there's Travis Pastrana moving into the finals. The Flying Squirrel, the platted one, and I think Travis was listening to me. He's like, Jared, I'll show you, man. You're betting against me, and you went with them. So Coley, you win that. You win that battle there, buddy. we'll live to see another. Andreas Bakkerud in the building. Get over here, buddy.
Come in here now. Andreas Bakkerud just appeared upstairs randomly.
Here's the bracket, how it shapes up. Scott Speed and Fraser McConnell, they will be up next, but Pastrana waits in the wings to see who he's going against. 2 more battles left of our first ever Nitro Rallycross bracket battle. So now it's Speed versus Fraser McConnell as Andreas Bakkerud joins us here in the booth. Look at that.
Speed straight away beats McConnell down towards turn 1. Fraser's had a great start so far, but it's Scott that's been doing the testing for Subaru, and we might end up here with a 2 Subaru fight for the top qualifier spot. We've got Andreas Bakkerud, who's in the 3rd Subaru, and Andreas, I think you're pretty gutted, I'm sure, not to be out there in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, it's such a cool event, and you know, I want to go out there and race, you know, and it's a bummer not to make it through the battles, but that's more racing.
Yeah, are you liking this format, this bracket battle?
I do. It's so competitive, so hard. I mean, like, there's ruts, there's dust, you need to win the start.
Yeah.
McConnell's having a look. Sorry to interrupt, Jared. He closed down tidy there onto the back. So McConnell's done what Travis has done. We've seen, I don't know if you've been watching Andreas, but most people have joked when they've lost the start. Not Travis. He's followed and gone to stick a move on them. And now Fraser McConnell's gone with Scott Speed, but they've got to split the strategy this lap if they want to, unless he's really confident making a pass.
Yeah, I mean, looking overall, Andreas, we have you here in the booth, and we're seeing, and when Liam was up here, he's talking about casing that landing on the step-up by design to take speed out of it. That seems like a critical point right there. Not so much even that bank after the big jump, but that seemed to be the case. How is the track transforming?
I mean, it's hard. It's transforming all the time, and you saw Scott earlier. He jokered the first lap, even he was in the lead. I was surprised.
Well, Liam said he was going to do that, and then he thought that Travis would follow him in. And it didn't work out. So and then
but down into this corner, there is a great opportunity to do overtake. Like, it's so hard to get the braking point here. So yeah.
Interesting enough, we have a Subaru driver up here. Andrew, you asked me who was going to come out on top. I said Arpin was going to take out Pastrana. And I also said Fraser McConnell was to take out Speed. I feel like Andreas is up here to stab me with a Subaru knife and say, Jared, we'll show you. But I'm sorry I bet against you guys. I just was calling like I saw him. Arpin's been really clean. His car, the way he's gripping up and getting the car to rotate, and Scott seems that slowing down, slow is fast almost.
Yeah, slow is fast sometimes. I mean, he have a very neat driving style, and it's working. I don't understand, and you know, there's rocks and so much stuff to take care of. I mean, it's very competitive, very hard.
I thought Speed was going to go a bit deep there, and Fraser was so tidy on the inside. Been really impressed by Fraser McConnell, but Scott Speed, a legend of American Rallycross, certainly, and coming back from a broken back in 2019.
On that very jump.
Yeah, on this jump, he's going to book a spot in the final with his teammate,
Subaru.
Pastrana.
Subaru in the announcer's booth, and Subaru 1 and 2, Pastrana and Speed. So again, I think they're just doing it to spite me, saying, Jared, you're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. We'll show you. And again, Andreas is here to seal the deal. And Andreas, get your hands. Andreas, I'm sorry. Stop. Please stop. Bakkerud, please don't. It hurts. So it's an all Subaru final, Pastrana and Speed. You called it, Coley. You went against me.
You know, sorry, dude. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long season. Don't worry, mate. I make plenty of mistakes, and you know, you just got to go for it, haven't you? You've got to go for it. And we had our little bets. Betting on Rallycross, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, yeah,
I've never done that.
Says the man as well who would just definitely have lost 2 bets immediately. Right. Yeah.
Well, Andreas, overall, it's great. It's weird to see you in a Subaru suit. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it looks good on you. You look great. And anywhere you can find a steering wheel and a shift knob and a handbrake, you'll be there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that was the thing I remember early on. I mean, Nitro Rallycross did a great instant video of you putting that video up. You're like, anybody want to hire me? Like, I'll drive, like anybody. You know? and here you are.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be a motorsport driver is very hard. Like, to get jobs around, it's not easy, and especially during COVID times. And motorsport and car industry is going more and more electric, so very like unknown times we're having right now. So I mean, it's just awesome to be here, and great chance by Subaru.
Well, it's great to talk to you, but we're going to talk to 2 winners, Andreas.
Thank you.
I'm joking. I'm throwing down to Katie. I love you, Bakkerud. I love you so much. Let's throw it down to Katie, who's with our finalists, Speed and Pastrana.
Yeah, Andreas, we're glad you're in the booth there because this is all about Subaru down here. You can see Travis and Scott really talking through. More importantly, Travis is like, yeah, who would have thought 2 Americans in the final? I'm going to sneak in here. Travis, first for you. How stoked are you that Scott is who you're going up against?
Dude, this is absolutely amazing. Subaru's worked so hard. Scott has literally mentored and coached and helped me through. He's given me a lot of flack, and he's like, you know what? If we're going to be out there, we're going to be a team. It helps so much if we can control that front row, and I owe all this to Scott, and now I'm going to go beat him.
A tire puncture, a gearbox issue, and Scott, what do you think Travis has taught you here today? We know a couple of times he's been in your ear.
Well, I mean, he's tried to teach me how to jump, but it just hasn't really worked. He's just really good at it, and there's time to be made on those. I mean, they're like corners. I still have more to learn, but you know, I got my strengths, he has his. We're going to throw it out there and hopefully not get in trouble from the bosses. Either way, we're going to have fun.
That's exactly right, and that's what this is all about, right? Fun?
And it has been a lot of fun. I apologize to Timmy, he was a little aggressive, but if I take both of us out, I think the team's going to kill me. So we'll have fun, though. It'll be good.
All right, guys, that's the energy down here. We're all looking forward to it.
I love the fact they're trying to play down. There won't be any contact. Like Travis has made passes on like everybody in there. Andreas is here in this Subaru race here. I wanted to ask you what Subaru means to you, because to me, like, my heroes were Colin McRae and Richard Burns, Solberg as well. You know, you're in one of the most iconic race suits here. Like, how's it feeling, dude?
I am, and I mean, like, you know, I was growing up 2001, starting with karting. Peter Solberg was the name. He was, you know, hitting the ramp. 2003, he won the World Championship in WRC with a Subaru, and it like took off in Norway. It was a big thing, and you know, the history of Subaru in motorsport is huge. So yeah, for me, it's a big thing.
And the color scheme on the car, dude, it's the proper factory color scheme. You know what I mean? It's the proper with the yellow. You know, it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible, and you know, to be here at this venue, it's just like mad. You know, we have done World Championship many years, but I've never ever seen anything like it.
79 events done now, though.
79?
79, both of us. But Nitro Rallycross.
But who's
now,
keeping
mate.
count?
Yeah. You know, Nitro Rallycross now.
Yeah. New times.
Yeah.
I love it. Andreas, what do you think of the bracket battles? Again, the format, now we go, you know, you're sitting out, you got your 2 Subaru teammates. Yep. Overall, I think it slowly progresses, right, through the weekend?
It does, and I'm excited to see what Travis is going to do now, because he have been speaking about the left line a lot. So I'm excited to see turn 1, if he's actually going to make the left line and see if it's faster than the big jump. So yeah,
all right.
You comfortable you can get it done? Like, you're seeing these guys up here, there's still plenty of opportunity for you tomorrow. It must be good to know the car's got it in. If it didn't go your way today, it's still, you know, we've got a lot of racing tomorrow.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure about the format. I go when the team tells me to go, and I try to race as hard as I can.
You know? Now the truth comes out. When we come back, we are going to be seeing our finals. Also, we got another special guest.
Teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Professional parts people.
The permission to take the scenic route and the guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. I am a Yokohama.
Welcome back to Utah Motorsports Campus. Cars that fly, literally, figuratively, and now we got a gentleman up here joining us. He's going to watch the final round with us. Travis Pastrana, Scott Speed. These gentlemen are one-time teammates of our next guest. He's joining us up here, but it's an all-Subaru, all-American battle in the finals. Points were earned, 4 points overall by Travis and Scott. And think about it, Scott, he only had 3 battles because he had that number 2 qualifying position.
I think it's I think this will be the 4th point. So I think
Yes,
whoever
correct.
wins this will get. So basically,
Terrible at math, not my strong suit.
Dude, me either. If you're not good at live maths, we're really screwed because I'm terrible at it as well. So that'll just be fun for everyone. So yeah, whoever wins this will effectively be the first championship leader for Nitro Rallycross. They're going to get 4 points there. So we've got Tanner Foust up in the box with us. Tanner,
it's never okay to fly yourself to work, and I didn't. I didn't.
I know you didn't. I'm saying you're flying all over.
It's a tractor with wings. It's it's a.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's be. I don't think you flew it to Europe, did you? I mean, that's pretty wild if you did.
That would be pretty wild.
Fair go.
No, just got back from Germany. Was shooting a movie with Keanu Reeves. It was absolutely a blast.
Solid name drop.
Yeah, there it is, KR. And,
you got it like that. You just call him KR. What up, dog?
No, it was an amazing project, and got really involved in all the stunts and had such a good time over there. But yes, it was a very quick turnaround. Straight after work, went on a plane, got off the plane, into the car, and here we are.
Awesome. Well, stick around. Watch the finals here. We'd love to hear your insight on the course here and what's going on, how the course is transformed, and what you think of the course overall. And, of course, your competitors. You're going to be seeing, hopefully, again, 14 vehicles, but we're only seeing 10 in the finals. And right now, it's all about that of Scott Speed and Tanner Foust. Andrew, what do you think? Who's coming out on top?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is the first time we've seen the two Subarus go up against each other. We know they've done all this start testing. Scott did a bunch of that. Does it give him an edge? You know, left, right side of the grid. Andreas Bakkerud was saying they think there's something in that. So here we go. Pastrana versus Speed on the run to turn 1. Look for the green. Great start by both of them side by side. Scott Speed's got the edge on Travis Pastrana, going to run him out wide. Pastrana going to go all the way around the outside. And we see Pastrana is the only driver who's not given up if he loses the start. I'll guarantee you he goes with Scott here.
But keep in mind that he said, the team owner says, don't crash out. We know it's your fault, Travis, if they get into a tussle. Both of them going for the big gap here as Scott Speed has the lead. He's got the clean air. Pastrana getting some dust in his face. Let's see what kind of lines he takes. There goes Travis. See if he can dive in like he did on Arpin.
He's going to try the same move, but can't quite get there. Speed carries a little bit more speed around the outside line.
And it gets thrashed on.
Yeah, once it gets thrashed on, you got to watch out for the little holes. You can actually see them in the track. You see that blue groove? It looks like there's a lot of grip. There isn't. It's like silt on top of the blue groove. It's amazing amount of discipline for these guys to stick it so close to the tire barrels, especially on the hairpin, which I blew, and don't bring it out. There, it's done. We said it. Oh, tires.
Yeah, Pastrana clips the tires. He's gone with Scott again, so he's done exactly what he did with Timmy Hansen. He's not alternated the Joker strategy. He's going to try for the pass. He goes deep and high on the brakes. Almost clips the rear corner on the tires on the end of the K-rail. Now clips the inside. That's game over. Scott Speed should take this. But Tanner, great to see Pastrana. He's like, no, I'm not going with the Joker. I just want to race this out.
I mean, to send it that high in the bank now when it's so dry and when there's holes, it's a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to break something up there. I have a feeling that he's probably got a bit of a puncture. But again, he's still pushing, and the Joker has a bit of a hole in it. It's actually treacherous coming out of the Joker. It sends you into the wall on the outside.
We saw you lift your front wheels as you came in. There's almost a crest on the exit, but there's a hole before, or?
There's a full-on crest and a hole right before that, so you actually have to kind of pitch it in the tunnel to get the nose to pop up that crest so it doesn't send you into the wall.
Talk us through, because we're going to see the two cars come through. Now, Tanner Foust watching the two Subarus. Watch for the exit
So
here.
it's a blind entry in here. You see a stack of tires, you pitch it around there, you hope you don't slide too much on the way in, but now you need to start sliding to get those over the hole. Scott, very conservative there, knowing that he's just dusted Travis out. And Travis, unfortunately, right now, he's going to try everything, but it looks awesome.
I think now he's just having fun with it, or trying to try different things, right? That's an opportunity for him to say, okay, this is how the course is going to be tomorrow, mind you, plus 9 more cars, including his, potentially, hopefully. That's what he's hoping for.
Scott Speed come around towards the finish line now. Had an absolute shocker here. Remember, in 2019, he broke his back on this very jump. This time, he will land the jump. He's going to blast down towards the finish line. And our first ever top qualifier for Nitro Rallycross is Scott Speed ahead of his teammate Travis Pastrana. That is some comeback. There's the team. Big hand for them. Speed, your TQ.
Yeah, Subaru 1 and 2. Congratulations to Scott Speed. Like you said, breaking his back here on this very course. Coming back, he's an 1.5 inches shorter, but he comes out on top. Tanner, what do you think there?
I mean, you hate to not be there, right? But for those two guys to do it is awesome. Scott coming, overcoming. I know he's got some PTSD from that whole experience, and he's talked about it.
Yeah.
Also, Travis has never really had a huge amount of success at his own event.
No.
So you kind of want to see that.
Yeah, you do. You do.
But second place, first place loser.
Right. good enough.
I wonder if Pastrana would have got harder into it if it wasn't his teammate. What do you think?
Maybe. You know, the thing when they're both the same color, you can't tell.
Where the paint's been swapped. Yeah, it's just blue on blue, basically, isn't it? Like, it would have been a blue on blue incident. Look at that landing as well. Pastrana's taken that left side of the jump and landed on the two right wheels several times. He went for the high-low, but watch speed here. So speed, where Arpin ran the car just a little bit too high and he got underneath. He's just carried the speed, hasn't he, through the way through the berm.
Yeah, that was a very interesting line that Scott Speed took. It was kind of low to high, right? He worked it out, and that didn't allow Travis to kind of dive in, and then they potentially alternated positions there. But overall, and to Travis's point, anybody could win, right? I mean, looking at this field, I think, Tanner, you're the least familiar with, or no, I guess Arpin is, but the way he's getting that car to rotate is very impressive. But, you know, hats off to you. You're jumping this car. You're very not familiar with this car at all.
No, it's a new car. I mean, at some point, it's got a steering wheel and 4 tires, so it's like somewhat familiar. But just how to start the thing in the pits and how to do a launch. Like, did I push the right buttons there? Do I have the anti-log on? You know, there's a lot of little sequence things with these machines.
Those are the familiarity things as well, aren't they, which take away some, you know, if you need 100% concentration to do something. With the Beetle, you knew it off by heart, so I guess there's always that 10% in reserve to think about other stuff, which you maybe don't have now in the same way yet.
For sure, and also how hard you can push it into this stuff. You know, like, you know, there are weaknesses and strengths with all of these cars, so it's knowing, you know, can I really back this thing in and, you know, without damaging something, and do I have, you know, an advantage over these guys on forward grip? I noticed that the Audis are very, very quick on the tarmac. There's not a lot of tarmac, but we've always been quickest on that one turn.
Yeah, that small little section. Well, as you see the two gentlemen talking down there, we're going to throw it down to Katie and talk with our winner, Scott Speed.
Yeah, Scott Speed, Travis Pastrana down here debriefing after that race. Congratulations, overcoming that PTSD. How'd you change your mindset here earlier to kick off a day like today?
I mean, when I'm in the car, I try to just compartmentalize it and drive well. But this was so cool because this is like such an awesome format, the battle qualifying. Last night I had to call my wife and have her send me a drag racing bracket because all my in-laws drag race. They're all in the NHRA, they're all champions. I'm gonna count this as my first drag race bracket style. So pumped to bring it home with the win. Thank you so much. I know everybody at home's watching. Love you guys. Subaru 1-2. Awesome. Can't say enough. To come back, I mean, this is my first race in competition back from the Boken back. It means a lot to come back with the win, starting in the right direction for the weekend.
Overcoming a whole lot of challenges with that, but you and Travis were debriefing, kind of like walking through a strategy that you didn't know was happening. Walk me through that.
I mean, Travis's driving style is a bit different than mine, and he's really good on all the jumps, so where I can maybe pick up a little time in the technical stuff in the corners, he can pick up time in the jumps, and you know, we work really well together, so we're always helping each other and getting better, and that's why ultimately you got 2 Subarus up here, because the team, our Subaru Motorsports USA team, is so good, and it's such a team. Everybody works together so well, it just it makes our job easy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It wasn't quite a victory here today, but it was definitely a win in Scott Speed's book, especially overcoming some of those challenges. I'm going to make my way over here to Travis Pastrana, who's all smiles. The guys in the booth were saying, hey, would you have gone a little harder if it wasn't your teammate? What did he have on you?
No, I mean, Scott Speed, he's really good. I've been trying to do my best to learn from him. He's really crafty as well. So he went wide and slowed up. He knew I couldn't get inside, but I was like, oh, he's going Joker. So I backed my turn up, and then he just took off and went for the jump, and I was like, already committed to not doing the Joker, so he's good. I knew I couldn't beat him straight up, so I had to take the race to him, and he backed me up enough where I couldn't get around that I didn't have a chance to jump in there. So he's smart. I learned what his technique is, and I'm going to use that in the future.
Hey, so we kicked off today asking you, how much sleep did you really get last night? Do you think you're going to get a few more hours tonight, now settling into this race mode?
No, absolutely not. I got to go back to track guy now. I mean, the crews, they have it. Honestly, I probably just slow them up, but there's still a lot of things that we can do to make this track more raceable, more exciting, and even better for the crowd. So definitely excited to make it to where we have. Super pumped. Subaru, Yokohama, KMC, like Red Bull, thank you for supporting it. All the other drivers that came out that flew from all over the world to be here, to be a part of this series for the first year. I mean,
badge on there. Congratulations, Travis Pastrana.
Mission to take the scenic route and a guide that gets you there safely. I'm not just any tire. Yokohama.
We're here for the perfectionists, the champions of doing things right. Whether they're in the shop or in the driveway, they trust O'Reilly Auto Parts. Because good enough won't cut it here. For over 60 years, we've been helping perfectionists get exactly what they want and exactly what they need without compromise, turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Professional parts people.
All right, thank you so much to Utah and that sports commission. And Andrew, what a day. What a great day. You know, kicking things off with qualifying, the practice, Sierra cars, right? We crowned a winner. We'll see them tomorrow again and next. And we're seeing those vehicles and those drivers really step up. And, you know, they have aspirations of doubling the horsepower and just their overall builds. But then we see our first ever bracket battle. Scott Speed beats him himself, you know, because basically, like you said, he wins his first ever drag race. But again, PTSD breaking his back here, that's got to be monumental.
100%. It was huge. He properly hurt himself.
Yeah.
He really badly hurt himself, and he's come back to the same track, to the same venue, having not done any rallies. None of us. 2 years we've waited for this, thanks to the rubbish that was 2020. And I just think, you know, all the ideas, Travis and this big dream to turn this into a series, they've wanted to do it for a while. And here it is, the series. Instead of one round, we've got five. We're doing this again next weekend. I mean, don't go anywhere, because we're going to do this again tomorrow. But then in 1 week's time, we're going to do it again, and then 3 more times. And I don't know about you, but I just feel stoked that everything's underway and everyone's having a great time. The drivers are loving it. We hope you guys at home are loving it too.
Absolutely. Again, Minneapolis, Minnesota, so buy your tickets or tune in. Wild Horse Motorsports Park in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be out there. Southern California, Glen Helen Raceway. I mean, that's on any given Sunday, right? On any Sunday. I mean, come on, day in the dirt. And then finally ending things down in Florida. And I think I'm going to bring my whole family on that trip. And that's just the culmination of not only this series, but so many different motorsports events and COVID. And it's going to be celebratory at the firm. We'll crown our first ever Nitro Rallycross champion in Miami. Laurette Nichols, she's been a great addition too. She's hosting all the social media stuff. I mean, we're really keeping the communication high, and they really want to have fun with this.
Hashtag is Go Nitro, by the way, if you want to get involved online. Obviously, Nitro Rallycross as well. Give us a shout. Myself, Andrew Coley, Jared Deander. You can get hold of us. You know, we're up for interacting with you guys. Let us know, what did you think of the battle brackets? Did you enjoy today? I hope you did, because I say we've absolutely loved it. That man's loved it as well. And, you know, he jokes about the track prep, but he'll be out there. I know he'll be out there checking it all out. Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and you could see him right there, the 199, and you talk about just how committed he is to the growth and the progression. And you know what? Let's just take a little piece at what this really means for Travis.
My name is Travis Pastrana from Annapolis, Maryland. I drive for Subaru Motorsports USA.
Side-by-side jump here, maybe over the big hit. Both the Subarus, amazing.
Wow, that is what Travis was hoping for, and they beat Ekstrom into the turn. But
I got into action sports through my parents. They both love motorcycles. I started racing, then I loved rally, got into car racing, freestyle motocross, and now rallycross. When we're going to all the tracks, I'm making sure that I'm not putting anyone on that track until I've jumped all the jumps, until we've worked out all the damages, all the pitfalls, all the breaks. And I'm very fortunate to be with a company of Subaru that is taking a lot of money that no one will ever see and investing it into building this series. It's been a wild ride. We have 3 tracks and they're going to be absolutely amazing.
And you know what happens when Travis Pastrana thinks of things? Well, they become big and they become exciting.
What's up? I'm down here with Travis Pastrana. Hey, what's this? What happens when you get these kind of race stripes on your car?
Well, if you get those type of race stripes and then don't go on to the next round, you get yelled at. But as long as you go on, my team's kind of okay with it in general. I do have a little more damage, gonna need some duct tape, but it'll buff out on this side.
So duct tape really is the tape that holds this whole thing together. Is that not true?
For Nitro Circus, yes. For Subaru Motorsports USA, I sure hope not, because these are pretty amazing cars. Definitely excited with the whole day, and huge thing. Really excited and really surprised we made it as far as we did. One-on-one racing is a little different because how the tracks are built. The fast line is not necessarily the easiest to block.
Well, going into tomorrow, game changes. There's a lot more cars on the track, a lot more opportunity for carnage and excitement. What's your game plan going into tomorrow?
No, definitely these battles are, I mean, in my favor for sure, because it's one-on-one. I feel like we've done a lot of work with the starts. It is like a space shuttle launch. I mean, I almost stalled it on the race against Arpin. I think, you know, Scott's helped us get this Subaru. It's such an amazing car.
All right. Todd's having some fun there, and he's a great addition to our broadcast. And again, thank you to Katie Osborne and Todd Richards. And you know, overall, I really, again, the bracket battles seem very familiar to me, right? And as the bracket battles are kind of like drifting, right? So you go head to head, and Travis says he likes that format, a little easier one-on-one. But with those heats, we got that many cars, 7 and 7 in each heat 1 and heat 2, and then how many vehicles advance on again?
2 from each heat race. So we've got 2 heat races first of all tomorrow morning. There's going to see 2 drivers go through from each of those. So that puts 4 straight through to the final.
Yep.
Then we go on to the semi-finals, at which point there's 5 cars left in each one, and 2 of each of those will go through as well. So that gives you then your 8 cars through, and then you can see we've got the LCQ, which is the O'Reilly's Auto Parts LCQ tomorrow. And that will be for Supercar. That's about 4:45 Mountain Time, local time that is, and that will put the last 2 drivers through. So 10 of the 14 will go through. I think one of the things I enjoyed about today with the battles as well was the fact that, you know, you're fighting your way all the way through. If you had a terrible qualifying, don't forget qualifying 2, then solo qualifying. These guys have been racing in different ways all day long, but they still had a chance to win the battles and go through. And we've got the same tomorrow. There are plenty of chances to see your favorite driver make it through to the final.
Yeah, and we got a Nitro happy hour. The Pit Viper boys are joining us out here. I got something special. I'll stretch it out for you. Andrew, awesome day. Thank you so much. First event we've ever done together.
Yeah, man.
And it seems like we've been doing this for years.
Likewise. Yeah, me and Jared have come close to working on stuff in the past and never before. And you know what? If there was ever going to be a job which we were going to have fun working on together, it was Nitro Rallycross. So big thanks to the whole team in the background as well. We've worked so hard these last few days to make this happen. Finally, 2 years later, we're underway, and I can't wait to get stuck into some more.
That's right. Thank you so much to Todd Richards, Kate Osborne, of course, Andrew Coley, and our whole team. We'll see you tomorrow. Tune in, 2 o'clock.